Hey guys, happy Sunday. It's Yulante here, and I'm super excited about today's topic. Please forgive me. I was running a little behind, but I'm here and ready. Happy Sunday, happy Sunday. Come on in the room. We're waiting for Facebook to get everybody in. We have an amazing conversation, Leo and I, today. So I'm just going to wait for her to accept my link. Please forgive the tardiness. It is 100% my fault. Playing around with technology. Happy Sunday, guys. We have an amazing conversation for you guys today. We are talking trending topics, and we're focusing on dating in 2025. We are talking about dating in 2025, so I hope everybody's having an amazing Sunday. Hey, Rita girl. We're just waiting on Facebook to gather up some more people for us to play with today and chat with today. I hope this Sunday is treating you well, and I hope you are ready to engage in this conversation. It's going to be so good. So good. All right. All right. Happy Sunday, guys. We got people super excited. All right. Do me a favor, drop a heart in the chat if you are excited to talk about dating in 2025, because this is going to be a really good one. All right. And hopefully we'll be able to get everybody in. Leo, we're waiting on Leo to come on in. Drop a heart in the chat, y'all, if you are excited about today's conversation. Yes, Rita is ready. I know that's right, girl. I wish we could play music, but you know Facebook will violate us for copyright. Y'all know we need us a little vibe to get us going, but that's okay. Hey, Mo. Hey, gorgeous. How are you? Honey, you know we're going to have a good conversation today, baby. All right. I'm just waiting for Leo. I'm not sure if she sees that I'm even on live. Okay, we're just going to wait for her to come on in the room. Y'all, we are talking dating in 2025. You guys know we're calling this Ain't Gossip. We are getting the message from the mess, and that's what we're going to be talking about. We take a look at trending topics, honey, and we like to try to look at them and examine them from an elevated perspective. So that's what Leo and I are talking about today. And it just seems like all of the trending topics are revolve around dating. So that's why we're talking about dating in 2025. So that should be a welcome conversation for everybody. All right, here we go. Leo is here. Okay. Perfect. Hey, Kim. I love it. I love it. Mo is here. Rita is here. Kim is here. We're waiting for our Facebook to bring some more people in.
You
Excellent.
just
Excellent. There's my friend. I'm so
hi, Kim.
excited. Hey, Greg. All right, friend. All right. I think we got it. I think we got it. Can you hear me, Leo?
Mm-hmm. I can.
All
Hi.
right. Excellent. Good, 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 good. All right. We're waiting for, oh, there she is. Yes. Waiting for Facebook to bring some more people into the room. We have such a juicy topic. It's gonna be so good. Friend, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm a little low energy, so I am drinking some coffee. I'm sorry. I'm just going to tell everybody
Excellent,
I'm
excellent. There's my friend.
marketing.
I'm so excited.
But I'm good. How are
All
you?
right, I'm good, friend. I can't say that I'm low energy, but I feel a little flustered. I kind of feel like I'm all over the place. So, hey, Mo, thank you so much. Mo said the girls are looking good. Thank you so much, guys. Do me a favor. Y'all know we're always trying to get this technical stuff done and out the way. So do me a favor. Let me know if you can see. The girls are looking good. Thank you so much, guys. Do me a favor. Y'all know see everybody. This technical stuff done and out the way. So do me a favor. Let me know. My mom said if you can see. Thank you so much, guys. Do me a favor. Y'all see everybody. This technical stuff done and out the way. So do me a favor. Let me know. My mom said if you can see. Thank you so much,
Uh-oh,
guys.
sis. I think you need to take the volume down off of one of your devices.
I did, yeah. I just turned it down. Let me know if you guys are still hearing that echo. I had my computer and my laptop was making noise, child. So we should be good now. Hey, Taretha. Hey, Tammy. Thank you. Mo said, breathe and control yourself. Yes, girl. That's what we're trying to do, girl. Trying to ground myself, child. All right. Do me a favor. Let me know if you can see us. Because we got a lot to talk about, baby. And we need y'all to look us in our face, honey, while we're talking about these shenanigans, baby. All right. Friend, I think
All right.
I see the top of your ponytail.
You just see the top of my ponytail?
And I see a little bit of your glasses. But we need the people because we shouldn't base that on me. So I
Okay.
think you
And
should
then
sit back
on
just a
on my
smidgen.
On my phone, I can see the from your nose up. On my computer, I can't see you at all.
Okay, perfect. So that's child. Let us know in the chat, guys. Let us know what you guys see. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go into the actual Facebook has a live producer portion. So I'm gonna go in there and see what it's looking like. Yes, girl. Mo said it's about to be good. Mo, so good. So good. Because we have so much to talk about. We have so much to talk about, and we want to make sure you guys are join. Oh, friend, you look perfect. We want to make sure that you guys are willing to join in on the conversation. This is a judgment-free zone, baby, because we're all learning from each other.
Do I look studious with my glasses on? I tried to look smart today.
Oh, is that what that is,
Hmm.
friend?
Yes.
You're gonna look beautiful and sexy and gorgeous and all the things. All right. Rita said they can't see me, so now I'm just trying to figure out which part of is it. Okay. Um.
I could only see you on my phone from the nose up, but on my computer I couldn't see you at all.
All right. Tell me what you see. Do you see my computer, my laptop?
Hmm. Yes.
Okay. child. We don't worry, guys. One day we're gonna take this show on the road, honey, and this is gonna be a um, whole produced little segment. Y'all gonna be like, child, I remember when Leo and Yulante used to take 10, 15 minutes
No, not I remember when.
to get themselves together.
And y'all better not say when we get fancy. Y'all better not say we acting funny. Like, oh, I remember when they, was
Oh, I'm
right.
okay with people. I'm okay with people saying that because usually people who say that about other people is because they haven't elevated with the people that they talking about. So
Oh, well, that ain't
I'm
nobody
okay
on
with
this
that.
live there, child.
I'm totally
And
okay with that.
the people who you called out, they definitely are the elevators. Let me tell you
All
something.
right.
You
So
wanna
what
get
happened?
hyped up. You want somebody on your team. You have that doggone Mo and Tammy Bell. They gonna hype you up. You hear me?
They're gonna get us together. Okay, so now what I see is just my face. Mo
Yeah.
said curtains. That's all I see.
Now on the phone, I see you fine, but on the computer, I just see nose up now.
Okay, so just one more adjustment. I just need to pull my camera down. Okay. All right. All right. We got it. We got it. We got it. We got it. You got this, Yolante. All right. I'm hoping that's not too far down. Um. Okay. I think that should be good. Okay. All right. So yeah, we got some people in the chat today. Thank you guys so much for joining us. My boobs are out. I don't know what to
Look at
tell
me look
you.
like, oh, okay.
They're gonna be out,
Well,
honey.
we are talking about dating, so yeah.
My child, my boobs always out. So whether I'm dating or not, yeah, these boobs are gonna always be out, child. I'm gonna tell y'all. They're gonna be out, baby. I'm not gonna even sit up here. I'm not gonna even hold you, honey.
So everybody put in the chat if you all think I'm looking coffee. You know how you in the coffee house and you look intellectual with your glasses on and your cup of coffee. Y'all let me know if that's what I got. That's what I'm giving. I'm
Ah,
totally
you
kidding.
got to
I'm
put it
joking.
together.
Um,
Yeah, you look like the sexy librarian. That's what you look
oh,
like. I don't know if you definitely look smart, but it's definitely giving sexy librarian. It's
uh,
sexy and well nourished. Okay.
okay. I'll next week I'll go with I don't want to be this. I'll go with sexy nurse or something next week. Too late for
Okay.
me to switch it now.
We're gonna take it.
Now, someone is saying, Caritha is saying only nose up. Um, but I see you fine in both the computer and the phone. Excuse me.
Okay. Um, yeah, I see myself on both, so I think it's okay. Yeah, okay. So I'm just trying to go into the actual live and to the actual producer. Woocha. Okay, Teresa said we're good now. Okay, good. She sees us fine now. Excellent. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate that. All right, here we go. So, friend, we're going to go ahead and get started because we don't want to hold the people up. We want to get into this good conversation. I'm already late. I do apologize. It is 100% my fault. Um, yeah, I apologize. Please forgive me. Um, so my friend is doing says she's doing pretty good. She's a little low energy. I'm a little all over the place, but I feel better now that I'm here with you all.
I do
Friend,
too.
we
I
want
do
to
too.
share. Go ahead, babe. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was agreeing. I feel great as well. I was just a little low energy as I was getting ready. I was trying to get myself together sans the coffee at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. But coffee
Good.
doesn't necessarily affect me negatively. So I'm good. I'm fine. I hope
Oh,
everybody out there is doing well.
yeah. They made it into the room. We made it to see another day to come play with Yulante and Leo. So I think everybody's doing pretty good, I would assume. Um, So, friend, you want to share? You guys know we always check in with each other. Friend, you want to share an amazing highlight from your week or something you did this week that was really good for your soul? Talk to us about that.
Yeah, it was interesting because I kept getting these calls on my office line, but the person wasn't leaving a message, and so I thought it was spam,
Mm.
I'm glad I did not block the phone number, but I thought it was spam, so I dismissed it. Finally, answered the phone after this
Uh,
happened over the course of about 36 hours, after about three phone calls. And I finally answered the phone, slight attitude, but still answered it because I'm thinking it's spam. And it was someone who needed some work done from me, some media relations. And it was a very, very pleasant phone call. And so
yeah,
I'm able to turn over a quick little amount of money. I try not to work for cheap because I know cheap girl.
period,
Sans our
period,
conversation about dating, but
period.
it's a nice little coin for a short amount of work, and I was happy that I answered the phone. Although, yeah, it was. I was like, well, why didn't you? This is my business line. Why didn't you leave a message? But
Uh-huh.
yeah, so it was very pleasant surprise, and
Mm.
also because I'm just getting back into working full time.
Yeah,
It's a low energy assignment, and yeah, God is very kind. He
yeah,
is very kind.
yeah. I love that. I love that, friend. And I'm happy you were able to get that blessing.
Yeah, thanks.
I don't know if I had anything this week. This week was a little weird. It was very interesting. We had a day off in the middle of the week, I think this week. And then I got a lot of phone calls from people. I wasn't feeling well, so I went to work late. And as I was coming into work, I was getting messages from people checking on me to see if I was okay. And so those of you who are in West Palm Beach know that I work at a local high school, and the local high school is all over social media because of a social media threat. And so parents were like up in arms and, seeing what was going on, coming to pick up their kids. And, the kids was calling the child. It was just so crazy. And I don't know if my week ever kind of calmed down from that, because of
Yeah,
course we got testing going on and all kind of stuff. So this weekend was much needed.
yeah.
Um, but
And
again,
that's too
this
bad,
topic is,
people playing on the phone like that. I mean, these threats, you cannot not take them seriously, because what if it is, in fact, the real thing? We just saw today, a church exploded. I didn't know it was that grand, but somebody drove into a church and it caught fire, and shots rang out. I think it's several people have passed away, several people are. In the hospital. They're still looking for bodies. I mean, you cannot take those threats not seriously. So it's disappointing that people would play like that. It's like,
yeah, yeah, very weird. So they investigated, got everything under control, honey. The children, that the day of the threat was a Thursday. So, honey, we had a bunch of kids that didn't come to school on
I'm
Thursday, and
sure.
my friend and I, huh?
I said, I'm sure. I was agreeing.
Yeah, so but that was the day I actually didn't go to work. I really wasn't feeling well. And so Friday went back and everything was, back to education, the education of a young minds as usual. So, this is a good reprieve for me to calm down from, I don't know, what was seemed like a crazy week.
Yeah.
And to play
Yeah.
with some adults and have some adult conversations. So
I
we're gonna
love
go ahead
that.
and get started with that. If
Yeah.
you guys are
Let's
cool with that.
yeah, let's get started. You guys, this is really Yolante and I, our day-to-day conversation, or every other day conversation, and I really am so excited that so many people have sent us such positive feedback on these conversations, and being able to join in and have some girlfriend time. I think that I am beginning at this big age to not count it lightly, the fact that I have girlfriends, and the fact that I have different types of girlfriends, right? I have my serious girlfriends that I talk about spiritual things about, and I have my shopping girlfriends, my skincare girlfriends. I have my girlfriends that they encompass all of those things. My politically minded girlfriends, and I just really appreciate this relationship, Yolante, but also the fact that I do not take it lightly what we have access to. And
Yeah.
I know you have a number of different friends as well that you lean on for different things, but I'm starting to learn that so many people don't necessarily have that, and to be able to glean and come along with us, I really love that we've decided to do this.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, friend. I'm so glad you are pointing that out. This is definitely a safe space. We're just holding space and honoring the different types of friendships that people have, but acknowledging that people don't necessarily have these kind of conversations that they can have with their girlfriends. So we are going to talk. You guys know our conversations we talk about all kinds of stuff. We talk about life, check in with each other. We talk about trending stuff, but we try not to be superficial in our conversations. But we also talk about beauty and skincare and all the things. So you guys know we always want to check in and let you guys know some of our favorite glow up essentials or finds that we are excited to share with you. So Leo, you want to go ahead and share that with your people. Hey, Sean. Sean is so funny talking about your little mean cousin. Hey, Kim.
Hey family, how are you guys? Yes, I actually have two, and I'll be really, really quick because again, I know we want to get into the conversation. One of my girlfriends called me or texted me after our show last week, Yolante, and she was like, I don't know exactly what was going on, but she was like, and Leo, you've been looking so good, and
Mhm.
I'm going through my personal medical and healthcare journey, and she was just pouring into me, and I really appreciated that. But one of the things she asked me about, sis, is my teeth. She was like, your teeth look so white, and I was like, really? And so I wanted to share my one of my toothpaste. So I actually brush my teeth with two different types of toothpaste. So I'm an old school Colgate white girl.
Mhm.
That's what I grew up on, and that's what I have always used. But I
Yeah.
have recently started using this toothpaste. As y'all can see, we're trying to get our cameras together, so the camera a little further away than it generally is. So that's why y'all see me reaching. So this is a white booster, and so this is the toothpaste that I use after I brush my teeth. Now I brush my teeth. We should probably do this one day, friend. Just show people like our hygiene regimen and how we do
Mhm.
things. I brush my teeth in quadrants, right? So I break my brushing into six different quadrants. And after
Okay.
I do that, then I brush my teeth with this, and it's a whitening booster. And so I also give y'all another little trick though. If you're not necessarily as confident with how white your teeth look, here's a little trick. Use a lipstick with a blue undertone in it, or blue that's blue base. If you can't find blue base, purple is best. If you start going into super reds that have oranges in it, it won't show your teeth as white. And so this lipstick that I have on right now is an example. This is a blue base lipstick from Fenty.
Mhm.
So that's just a little trick, but we don't want to use tips and tricks. We actually want to use something that's just going to make our teeth white. And this is a tooth booster. And then the other thing that I have been using is this bio oil gel. I use this after baths. Now, this gel is the same thing as this oil. Y'all know I always be doubling up stuff. This gel is a gel version of this oil. And why this oil is so popular, a lot of people use this. They use it during and after pregnancy because it helps with scarring. And so I actually became familiar with this when I had fibroid surgery. And so when I had fibroids removed, my fibroids were so large. I'm really telling y'all my business. We having real girlfriend talk, I guess. When I had my fibroids removed, they were so large that I have a literal C-section scar, because they could not take it out vaginally. They had to remove them like a C-section. And so
Mhm.
that's when I
Mhm.
became familiar with this gel and this
Mhm.
oil. And so it helps with scarring. It helps
Mhm.
with stretch marks, and it's really, really good. It's really great for black skin. And I have a really good girlfriend who uses this on her face as well. Now, my face is oily, so I don't use it in that way. But I think if
Mhm.
I had some scarring on my face, I definitely would. So these are my glow up products for the week.
I love it. I love it. Rita is on here. My girl said she uses the same oil.
Oh, okay.
Tarsha would also, friend, like for you to put the name of that in the chat. So what we're
Oh,
going to start
sure.
doing, guys, is we're going to
Sure.
start sharing links. Leo has an Amazon affiliate store. I also have an Amazon affiliate store / shop my store. So what I've been doing is putting a lot of products that I mentioned in my posts and all that kind of stuff. So we'll start making sure we share those with you all. But whatever you do, please don't ever feel like, we are so unapproachable that you can't ask us. Like Leo said last week, we don't gatekeep. And if it's something I feel
That's
like I need to gatekeep, I'm
super
just not
cool.
going to even mention it. So if it's something we mentioned on here, we are definitely going to share it with you. So I love that. So oh, she put it in there. It's the after brushing whitening booster. And I love, Leo, that you shared that trick, that color trick, because I was going to actually tell people if you put on a red lipstick, blue based red lipstick, that's the way your teeth are going to always look super,
Yeah.
super, super white. Because what happens is in color theory, blue cancels out, the blue cancels out yellow, which is
Yellow.
what that is we see in our teeth. So my essential, and hopefully you guys can see it, is inspired from last week from Leo. You guys know Leo shared a glow essential that was so, so gorgeous. And it was from a Black owned company that was going out of business. So I couldn't wait. I was like, I got to have something. And so I went on Amazon, did some searching, looked at some reviews, and I also was influenced by the bottle. This bottle is delicious. It is the most gorgeous bottle. And so this is the Golden Glaze Luxury Body Oil. And what really
Mm.
got me to purchase it is that it has vitamin C in it. It smells of vanilla, but it has ceramides in it, argan oil, and hyaluronic acid, which of course I was like, it smells good. It's gonna make me glowy, and it has that beneficial, those beneficial skincare ingredients in it. So I got it yesterday or the day before, unboxed it, y'all. When I tell you this stuff smells so good. I'm not really a vanilla girl. It's not off-putting, but it's not really my thing. This is delicious. It's very warm. I don't know. It just doesn't, to use Leo's word, doesn't smell like one note. So I'm gonna show you. Of course, I tried it and I was like, Lord, don't fail me now.
Yeah.
So we got it. Y'all know I'm gonna have to come up to the screen because I need y'all to see
Yes,
that
we
when I
we
tell you,
definitely have to
actually I
see.
may not need to get up. When I tell you, honey,
Oh,
honey, honey.
yes. Yes, Fred.
Can y'all see that? And so, baby, yeah, I love it
Oh,
so
yes,
much.
that's very good. And
Let me
see
come.
those
Let me come.
those
Come. Let me
those
come.
they don't they look like they're wet, but for a really, really good oil, it's not going to be wet on your skin. It's going to penetrate into your skin, but it's going to give you that
Yes.
beautiful glow. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm gonna have to you're gonna have to put that in the chat because I got 2 bottles
Yeah.
of what I shared last week. So mine is not gonna go anywhere anytime soon, but at the top of the year, I'm gonna need something because my boo, they will be coming back, but not immediately. So
Right. Yeah. So
yes,
this
friend.
is good. So, very excited. But the smell. This is not like, I don't even know how to describe. This is not like a vanilla. I don't know, y'all. It's super grown. It's super sexy. It literally is something that I can wear as a perfume. Like
Yeah.
I was like, what the heck is going on? Like I just kept smelling my hands when I put it on my hands. So it's delicious. You guys have got to try it. I will definitely make sure. Um, I'll try to find the link and add it in the chat. So
Your
yeah,
hair is
it's
looking
so
really
good.
good too, friend.
Yeah.
Did you just boost it? Your hair.
Oh, no.
It looks
It's
so,
just some
I
color
love a
there.
white blonde. I prefer a platinum blonde to a traditional blonde. And
Yeah,
your hair looks extra blondie today,
extra
baby.
white.
Love it.
Yeah, I think because I just put product on top of it, and my product, which is another video I'm going to do because I have a lot of girlies who have blonde hair, but they don't know how to make it platinum blonde, and so I've been
Yes, the
sharing my
second step.
tips, and we want to
Yes.
know. So I will share that with you guys. It's so easy when you find out how easy it is.
Yeah.
Child, y'all gonna be like, girl,
Yeah. I
why did you
think
tell
when
me
people
so?
do go blonde, they think it's that one step. No, you got to take it the next step to get it white.
Oh yeah, you got to tone the yellow out for sure,
Yeah, I
for
love it. It
sure.
looks so good.
Thank you,
Now,
friend.
my favorite on you, my favorite, and I don't
My
know if this
wig.
was a mistake because I said it to you, and then I don't know. Look at me leaning in. I don't know if you dismissed me when I said this to you, but my favorite is that time you did like this, like very minimal shade of pink. Oh my God!
Oh
When I tell
my
you that
god.
thing was pretty, ooh, it was gorgeous.
Girl, that was not on purpose. That was me not wanting to go to the hair salon and here trying to tone my hair myself. Child, that was a
Listen,
hot
it
mess.
was listen to your friend. Your friend is not a liar. I'm a lot of things, but a liar I am not. It was
That part.
beautiful. It was beautiful. And I was thinking about you because I saw an old picture of Rihanna. You know, everybody knows she just had her baby girl, which is so exciting. She has two boys already, and
Yeah,
she now is having a baby girl. And I saw an old picture of her when
yeah.
she had pink hair, and girl, it was beautiful. Now hers was a wig; it was a very good wig, but it was a wig. And I thought about you in that pink. That was beautiful, friend.
Thank you, friend. I appreciate that. I really do. Yeah, I do. You know, I've always wanted to wear color, so because I feel like anything you wear is an expression of who you really are, and I'm a colorful personality. So I'm not above putting pink and purple in my hair. I don't know. I guess because I'm in education, you know,
Yeah.
there's always this idea of what people are supposed to look like and how people perceive you based on how you look, especially in certain industries. Um,
Mhm.
but the kids, you know, it's funny. The kids love it. So who
Yeah,
am I
and
to deny
y'all,
the
when I
children of a
say
little
pink,
color?
I'm talking about this kind of pink. It was like a rose gold. And it was very
Yeah,
subtle. Like you had to like be up on her to actually see it. And you know,
yeah,
if you my friend, I be up on you. So
yeah.
it was like this shade. So it wasn't like a bright pink or anything like that.
Yeah, it wasn't like the pink my baby girl, my niece wears, honey, because my niece she is gonna put it on for the people. Baby, don't play with her. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
Taylor is gonna shake it, baby. Here I
Mhm.
is. I S. Here I is.
Yes, that part, that part. So yes, Mo's so funny. Mo said she can't. She did not come on here to spend money, but drop the link. I'm dropping it now, friend. I'm dropping it now as we speak. I just dropped it in the link in the chat because I got to get the girls what they need. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Leo, are we sharing fragrances or should we share that towards the end? What do you think?
Let's do
We
it.
should
Let's
share
do
it
it
now.
at the end. Let's do it at the end.
Okay, all right, cool. Because I know the ladies and the fellas want to get to the conversation because honey is so
I agree.
good. So yeah, friend, are you kicking us off talking about Mr. Michael Porter Jr.?
I am. I'm going to kick us off. And again, guys, just to give you guys a level set, what Yulante and I have been doing again, this is just a glimpse into how she and I talk about hot topics. So one of the things that one of our girlfriends said, when she watched last week's episode, she said, "Listen, I'm not too old to watch and hear about hot topics, but I'm also not young enough to know everything that's going on." And so this
Yeah,
gives us an opportunity to have an elevated conversation, still know be in the know, and to learn from either the wins or the losses of individuals. There's always something to be learned, even if it's
yeah,
not, even if it's what not to do. And so just know that our conversation, while we may give context to the hot topic, ultimately, at the end of the day, what Yolante and I strive to do is to pull a message out of the mess that
Yeah.
all of us can learn from. So you'll hear us perhaps refer to the person, but we'll also just be talking about the umbrella message as well. So let's get
Yeah.
into it. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you that I did not have a hard time getting the message out of this mess, because this joker right here bothers me. You know, I tried to look beyond and get but I was like, sir, because I wound up in our research. We have to get a little bit of context, and I started watching other interviews with him, and I was like, sir, you might be a clown, but but let's get to it, and you all tell us. So we expect interaction. We expect you guys to talk to each other, to us, and help us understand some messages as well. Y'all don't be gatekeeping on the messages and on the lessons, okay?
Yeah.
All right, so
For
let's
sure.
get into it, friend. And you guys, please don't get too distracted by the fact that I'm looking down. My computer is on my lap, so Yolante's is at eye level. But when I'm looking down, I'm looking at my computer. So please, I hope that that's not a distraction for you all. So Michael Porter is an NBA player who just signed a $2 million contract. This is important.
200. 200 million.
Excuse me, $200 million contract. This is important. This is a wealthy NBA player. However, recently in an interview, he revealed that during his last relationship, he split the rent with his girlfriend. You all didn't mishear me. He split the rent with his girlfriend. At first glance, that may sound fair. Dating doesn't mean that you are entitled to someone else's money. But here's the twist. He helped choose the apartment. In the interview, he said, I wanted to be comfortable there as well. Even though he has his own place, they were in a relationship and he wanted to be comfortable there as well, knowing that it was outside of her budget. We can't dismiss the fact that she knew it was outside of her budget too, but we're talking about him right now. So he knew that it was outside of her budget, and then committed to covering half for a year. When they broke up 5 months later, he said he'd keep paying, but only month by month. But he didn't pay it all up front. He paid it month by month because he wanted to see if she continued to act right. Okay. In my opinion, Yolante, this is a hot topic, not about equity. Okay.
Yeah.
And shared contributions that two people have when they have a budding relationship. This is about control, and this is about ego masked as support. This story, and again, we're talking about hot topics. So this story sparked a bigger cultural debate. What does the financial partnerships look like when one person makes a significant amount more than their partner? Should girlfriends expect for support? Should boyfriends provide it? And Yolante, I want to take the conversation also. I want to spark another part of this conversation, and perhaps I'll do it when I give my lesson. But I want to also talk about why do these conversations, sis, feel different when the girlfriend is black versus when the girlfriend is white? So I do want to talk
Mm.
about that too. So I'll be quiet and I'll let you provide the people with the lesson.
So Mo was hilarious because Mo said, "Yeah, next." We're moving on, basically. Um, oh, so much. So I'll say this. Again, like you said, I have to be fair in all things, and I arrive at my perception of people, which is unimportant, really, because we all have perception of people. I arrive at it through the lens of someone being healed and unhealed. And what I can appreciate is, though, that interview was hard for me to watch because I ended up watching the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
And I think Justin LeBoy he needs to do better on his interviewing skills. But I digress.
He
At
did
the end
hold
of the
him
interview,
slightly accountable though, and I did like that. He kept probing, and I didn't like that he let
yes,
him just talk and say some foolishness, and he kept probing because he couldn't understand. So I don't disagree with you, but I did appreciate the young man for pressing him more.
yes, for sure. And so he did, by the end of the interview, acknowledge that he was unhealed. He acknowledged that he
Oh,
was toxic.
He acknowledged that, you know, he did a lot of self-sabotage in his own life. So I do feel like we do need to recognize that, because it's one thing for him to say he doesn't split bills and all of these, you know, opinions he holds about women that sounds like misogyny. But he acknowledged, I'm full of shit. And that's right why at this moment I'm going through a detox, because I realize and recognize that what I'm doing, I need to, it ain't working. It doesn't make sense. I'm not doing the right thing. He realizes he's at he is literally at fault for all of his relationships. So let's just at least acknowledge that.
I appreciate you sharing that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I definitely now, and again, being trauma informed, I understand, because if I don't give him that same grace, then that means somebody's not going to give me the grace.
Correct.
And I always need people to give me grace, because I operate from my environment and from how I was raised and my wounds. And I don't always know if I'm, you know, offending somebody or doing something, especially if it's unintentional, right?
Mm-hmm.
And listening to him energetically, I do not feel or think that his intentions were ever to hurt the girl, especially because there was a time where Justin LeBoy was interviewing him and he kept saying, say it, say it, say it, because he was trying to get more context. And he kept saying no, because she's going to be mad. And that was a part of the interview where he said he likes to, which is so toxic, and I didn't realize men do this, but he likes to take a small situation, let it and blow it up, because he was using that as an excuse for an out in the relationship. He was waiting for her to say something that made him mad. He could blow it up and then use that as an excuse to break up with her, which
Jesus
I think is
Christ.
completely diabolical. But it's a way that it's a way to get out of a situation without being a grown, healed man about it, instead of just addressing that, you know, we're not at the same place right now, and I want to move on. So yeah, so you know, it's a lot. It's a lot. So one of the things he said, and I'm looking at my notes because it's a lot. He said he wants women who are independent but don't act masculine, and which I believe is something that a lot of men want. They want an independent woman, but they don't want her to be too independent. Like, they don't want her to be, you know, too masculine. And men need to understand, you know, being able to take care of myself and actually having a man take care of me are two different things. So I can be independent because I can take care of all of my bills and all the things, but you don't in the same breath get to ask me to be soft and nurturing and be intimate with you and all of these things if you are not willing to provide what we know men are expected to provide, which is provision and security, right? So
taking her out of that masculine, if that's what you desire, it's kind of
right,
counter.
it's a contradiction. It's a contradiction. Now, I do also want to say this, because I don't want anybody to ever hear me when I'm talking about femininity. Don't ever think I'm one of those women who all I say is women need to be feminine. That's not what I'm saying. There has to be a balance in the polarities. You are supposed to operate in femininity and masculinity, but they show up at different times, right? They don't exist. Two things won't exist at the same time, not when it comes to those polarities, right? And so I'm always talking about the advantage of femininity, but I'm not saying to not have masculinity in you is not great. So I want to also kind of say that. So when we split bills, right? When you split bills, you are essentially splitting the polarity between the roles of the masculine and the feminine. I mean, that really is just what it is. So if I'm paying half, right, you can't expect me to be my softest, most feminine self. Like, that's just not going to happen. Because if I'm splitting bills with you, that means I have to turn on my masculinity to make up for that gap, that usually financial gap that is happening. So that means there's going to be some masculinity that's going to come out, you know, on my part. And I think men and masculine essence to people, they need to understand that protection and provision provides it provides the feminine with this container that allows us to be ourselves and be worry free. So that means that if you are protecting and providing for me and you're creating a container for me to be my true feminine self, that means now I get to be all those things that men desire and want in the feminine, right? So that means I get to be a full nurturer. Now I get to be your healer. Now I get to be your peacemaker. I get to be your spiritual intercessor. I get to be able to be the caretaker of your seeds, which is your legacy. Now I am, I can be the person that you can bounce ideas off of, and I can grow your business ideas by tenfold. Now I can be your lover. And we're not just talking about sex when we're talking about love. We're talking about, remember, sex is a form of healing. When men are intimate with women, you transmute energy and you actually heal them. So if you want a woman to operate in all of that stuff that I just mentioned, you need to understand why it's super important for you to create a container where she doesn't have to bring another element into those things, which is masculine. Because I can't do all of those things and still be masculine and help with, worrying about bills and worrying about all these other things that the masculine generally worries about when they are the protector and the provider. I'm tired. I'm tired, sir. That I can't. So I'm not going to do both, and I won't do both. Now, if I do both, then that's giving roommate energy. And if I do both, then you're going to be met with some resistance on how I view you and your manhood. And I know that men don't want to hear that, but I am going to question your ability to go out there and do what you need to do, because now you're making me act like a man and step in there and do what you're supposed to, what I view you to be doing. And then ultimately, this really ain't even about Porter. This is about her.
Yeah.
Because unhealed people are going to do what unhealed people do. Now, I also recognize when a person is unhealed, people that are in our lives are a reflection of us. People are mirror reflections of us. And so I could bet my paycheck that she's unhealed. Because if she weren't, she would have a certain standard for her, not even for herself, but a standard for how she's expected to be treated. And then she would maybe walk away. Now, again, he is just her girlfriend. She is just his girlfriend. So, you got to take that into account too. I mean, there is something to be said about how much protection and provision I give my girlfriend versus my wife. And another thing I think we need to also understand, outside of her having a standard for herself, we need to understand what masculinity and leadership is. A lot of people, when they hear that word leader or leadership, they think it means that the man is just telling me what to do. And if you look at the definition, y'all know I'm an English teacher, baby. I'm always going to the root words and the actual semantics and definition of words. If you look up the definition of the word leader, a leader is a person who guides and they direct. But the part that people don't realize is that a leader takes responsibility for the group or the unit that they are leading, which means when the team messed up, it's a reflection of the leader, right? So basically, as a man who has said that I am going to be a leader of this household, he essentially has said that I am taking full responsibility for the people in this household that I'm leading. And the truth of the matter is, ladies, you have got to recognize and understand every man don't want to be responsible for you. Because it's a big deal to know that somebody's livelihood is contingent upon your successes and your failures. And so we have to be fair to men, and we have to acknowledge that not all men are going to take that charge, and we can't expect them to do it just because you're a woman. But your job is to say, you know what? He's showing me actions that tells me he does not want to be responsible for me. And now I have to make a decision on whether or not I'm going to stay and continue to allow that to happen, or if I'm going to move on and find somebody else who is willing to take up that charge. So that's really my thing. Just know that men are going to invest in what they respect. And if they're not willing to invest in you, then listen, take with it what you will from that. And it's not a reflection of you. It doesn't mean anything about you. It just means that they haven't found, or he hasn't found, what he feels like he needs in you to add. That it doesn't provide him with the value enough to do what he needs. It could be trauma. It could be all kinds of stuff. He may not even have the capacity to do it. And then we take all of that stuff on as women and men too. We take it all on and we think something's wrong with us. And then we let all these outside factors tell us how we should feel about ourselves. And none of this has anything to do with me. This is all about you, because all roads lead back to you. How you take care of yourself, what you stand for, and how you feel about yourself. Everything leads back to you. So yeah, that's it. I feel like I'm preaching and I'm done.
So we did get quite a few comments, and I'll read them, and then I'm going to take the conversation in a different direction off of him, because again, I appreciate what you said in terms of setting and him coming back at the end and acknowledging some things. But because I had seen some previous interviews with him, it was difficult for me to get some thoughts without focusing on him. So I focused on the larger conversation. But let's
Yeah.
read some of these comments. Sean said they want women to pay bills, but want the woman to remember and acknowledge that the man is the head of the house. You know, they want the both and.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Tarsha said exactly. Mo said you are unable to be soft when you have to go out and hunt. That
Yep.
is work. That is a
That
word.
part.
If the bills are being split, so should the decisions concerning the house, or the home. I totally agree. Uh, Roxy said, true. In this particular case, his comfort caused her discomfort. You couldn't afford it. She couldn't afford it, but he wanted it. He needed to shoulder way more responsibility. I completely
Mm-hmm.
agree. And then Ivy said his mother may be training him to guard himself. Yeah, but he should go stay with his mama. Um, because you cannot date guarded. And we'll talk about that in the next conversation. But it is very difficult for you to do the both and in that particular situation, to be concerned with
Yeah.
guarding your heart while also simultaneously saying that your heart is open. That
But
is
also remember too, friend, he didn't during the, oh, I don't know if you watched the whole interview. I didn't even think it was so much a heart, because they kept asking him. Justin LeBoy kept asking him, "What is it?" Because he comes from a two-parent household. His parents are religious people. He says it's a healthy relationship, so he didn't have this negative um, you know, a picture to guide him. He did say though that because he's in the NBA, he makes all of this money. That his actions are about testing her. It's about making
right.
sure that she's not just here for the money. And so
Which is
I would venture to say, in along with what my sister just said, maybe not the dad so much as, I mean, the mom as much as the dad, because I do know that these NBA and NFL players are groomed a certain way to be guarded when they are dealing with the women out there. Especially, they say the chickens in LA. You know, LA is a very materialistic place where it's a whole bunch of games being played. So yeah.
Listen, I wasn't gonna go here, but since you used that, because he said that in another interview, and like I said, I watched other interviews of him as well. First of all, don't, ladies, again, we're talking about the overarching message. This whole thing about this man being in a position to test you is absolutely ridiculous, because let me tell you what happens with a test. When you pass the quote unquote first test, you know what's going to happen. You don't just pass it. You know what happens next? They give you another test and another test and another test, because people like that who test you keep moving the goalpost. That's what happens. So you never necessarily pass any tests there. They simply keep testing you because they're looking for you to fail the test. And what's going to happen eventually is they're going to get what they're looking for, which is you failing the test, because you can't meet every test. We are human.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to eventually fail. And it gets him to what you said earlier, Yolante, which is, oh, well, see, she failed. Now I get an out. Oh, I knew she was going to be that one who didn't do X, Y, and Z. So now I have an out. A test begets another test. You are Black women. You are princesses. You are not mules for you to be tested to see how much you can carry. Y'all gonna make me cuss on here, and I'm trying my best not to, because I listen. I'm trying to make sure that I get my whole healing, and Lord, no, but for real, you are a princess. You are a beautiful woman. Who is this man to be testing you? And again, listen, I'm 50 years old. Let me tell you what I know for sure: a test begets another test. I know that to be true. So that whole he's testing you and you have placed in him in a position to continue to test you is a bunch of foolishness as far as I'm concerned. I heard him say that, and I did not like it. And if it is his mama who set him up to say that you are supposed to be guarded and continue to test these women, you know what you're going to set him up for? A failed relationship, because
Absolutely.
you are putting this man in a position, one, of power, and then you are putting him in a position of almost god-like state that he is in a position to test. Sir, have several seats. You are human just like she is, and she needs to be testing you in the same way. If we doing tests, listen, okay, I'm going on about my going on, okay. um
But friend, calm down. Calm
I'm
down.
just
Calm
saying.
down.
I'm
It's
just
okay.
saying. Sir, sir, stop it. And ma'am, because see, we brought this up talking about his mama. Ma'am, you are
Yeah.
in a healthy relationship. Does your husband test you? But because your son is a wealthy individual, he's in a position to test? Are you kidding me?
Mhm.
Stop
Mhm.
it. We're
Yeah.
done talking about finances. We're talking about relationship. And relationship is relational. Come on, let's
Oh,
to your
yeah,
point. Let's get on to
honey.
some root words here. Like, stop it. But let
You
me
know I
say
love
it.
me a good root word, baby. Honey, I love some good root words, baby. Hmm.
let
Yeah.
me let me
Yeah.
let me sit back, because I had my coffee house attire on with my cup of coffee. I was supposed to be looking smart today, not getting all upset because my girlfriends didn't allow these jokers to test them. Girl, do you know how fly you are? You better stop it. Okay, but let me get on with my get on. Listen. And again, I'm taking this out of him. That's all me and Yulante be doing. First of all, she'll say something, she'll get me irritated, and then I go to yelling, and then she laughs. This is her whole goal in life, is to get giggles from me. So
And
okay,
look, and all for me to be like, well, Leo, let's look at it from this perspective, and she don't want to hear that. So
I
you know,
do, I do. I was heart warmed by the lesson that he learned, but again, that testing thing. And again, Ivy shouldn't have brought that up talking about his mama, because ma'am, you should love your son enough to tell him he's wrong in doing that.
uh,
And again,
girl,
her
don't
husband,
don't do that because you and I
her
know we have
husband, I bet you she don't do
conversations
that with
about
her
bad
husband.
mama and all the time. Mm-mm.
I
Nope.
bet you she doesn't do that with her husband, though. They have a healthy relationship. And so what you're modeling and what you're telling your son are two different things. So your standard for yourself and your standard for your child and somebody else's daughter is different. Ma'am, sit down.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure. Hold on, friend, before you your head implodes. Roxy said you can this is a good one, best friend. Roxy said you cannot submit your heart if you're guarding your money. Fund the one you can be totally unguarded with. I know that's right. Find the one you trust. That's it. That's it. That's
absolutely.
all. Mo said he's probably been burned before. Say that, girl. I know that's right. Um, on or the one with the friend said, or the one with the right amount of game to pass the test, yeah, and take all your money. Yeah. So right, that part, because it is some of them that's big room for that. He will never trust. Come on, Leo, exactly, Roxanne, and yeah, for sure. I be
Sean
laughing.
talking about them
Y'all
mamas.
know, y'all know my sister stay on bother. She be like, girl, y'all need to get it together over there. Yeah, Leo, LaShawn, for real. The mamas, y'all, it's the mamas. Y'all know I always go back. It's the mamas. It's the mamas. It's the mamas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff is interesting. Now we're not going to stay on this topic too much longer, but I do want to give my lesson. And again, my lesson isn't necessarily based solely on him. It's the
Mhm.
overarching thought, and that lesson is, Yolante, whether it's your job, whether it's
Mhm.
friendships, whether it's intimate partnerships, you should never allow anyone or anything dictate the terms of your survival. And that is
Absolutely.
what that young lady did, unfortunately. She got to get her Auntie Leo, Auntie Lante, and we got to sit down and have a conversation with her, because despite the fact that he said, "Oh, I want to be comfortable in your space, so you should get something that's more expensive," you then put yourself in a position where you are tied to him for your very survival, for your housing, for your covering, and that always is going to be quite dangerous. Um,
Absolutely.
the bigger
Absolutely.
truth is that this goes beyond romantic partnerships, though. On your job, if your survival, your entire survival is tied to one paycheck and your boss knows it, you may be placing yourself in a position where you tolerate disrespect because you feel like you can't afford to lose your job. In friendships, if you only have this one friend and you rely on them for your emotional support, they can dictate how you move. In family, and we've seen this happen before, unfortunately, or in
Yeah.
partnerships, if the help comes with strings, it comes with guilt, it comes with uh conditions that rob
Yeah.
you from your dignity, that rob you from your peace, that's a chokehold. So no
Hmm.
one or no thing, again, a job, um, a, a, a career, it should not dictate your terms of survival. Your survival should not be predicated just on that one thing. I think that is quite dangerous, and it's a conversation that more women of a particular age should have with younger women, in my opinion. True
Yeah.
security is built on interdependence, not dependency. On, again, throughout your life, not just in your personal relationships, but throughout your life.
Yeah. Yeah, that is 100%. Roxy is giving hand claps for sure, and energetically, that is the truth. If you are not a whole healed person, again, though for this young lady, I don't know who it is. He is a mirror reflection of her.
Mhm.
If you are not healed and whole, then these are the types of individuals you are going to attract.
I agree.
So
I
yeah,
totally agree. I
yeah,
also want to talk about this really, really fast, Yolante.
hmm,
Again, this is not specifically about Michael Porter because we don't know who this girlfriend is. I don't think he ever really necessarily said this young lady's name, and he's been tied to a number of women. So I don't
right,
know if this woman is, in fact, a Black woman, but when I saw this headline and we started to have this conversation, I couldn't help but think about uh, I think her name is it Kelsey Nicole, who no, it's not Kelsey, Kayla Nicole, who used to date Travis
Travis.
Kelsey, who
Hmm.
now dates Taylor Swift. So she is a Black woman, and she talked about how when she dated Travis Kelsey, that he never gave her any money, that he never helped her financially. And I just think about this whole thought that a lot of times Black women, because they don't want to be considered gold diggers, they don't want to fall into that stereotype, they downplay their needs. And
Hmm.
white women don't have to do that because white women are positioned in society, in movies and music and film, that it is an honor to care for them, that you are noble for caring for them, that you put them on a pedestal, and then you are to care for them, and that is a part of your responsibility as a man to them. Whereas with Black women, we are placed in this position where we have been told since slavery and Jim Crow that we are the mules of the earth, that we are hard, independent Black women, strong, blah, 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 blah. And perhaps we played into it over the course of the years. But the fact is that we should not downplay our needs in
Yeah,
order to we shouldn't downplay our needs based on that stereotype. If you need to be cared for, if you are a person like my fabulous friend and you like certain luxuries, you shouldn't downplay that in order to uh, to stay away from what you perceive to be a stereotype. Forget what them
yeah,
people are saying. If you need to be cared for within the confines of your relationship, then that's what you need, and you should get it, and you shouldn't be afraid to ask for it because you are afraid of what this looks like and what it's going to be interpreted as. I just really wanted to say that again. That didn't necessarily have anything to do with Michael Porter, but I do think that sometimes we as Black women, in order to try and keep ourselves from these stereotypes, we
Mm-hmm.
downplay ourselves, we downplay what we need, what we should have, what we were raised to have.
Yeah.
I hate that for us. And my heart goes out to young women who are doing that and
Mm-hmm.
are and even seeing that modeled through their mothers, that they and not getting those things that they actually need.
Yeah.
That really bothers me.
Yeah. But I do think, and I'm glad you said that, the great thing is that we are seeing an emergence, because that's just energetically how it has to happen. Once this thing has gotten so far to the left, the pendulum has to swing. And so we're starting to see that even with femininity in the conversations, and we're starting to see a lot of women awakening to what that looks like and what that means, for them, and understanding what we really do bring to the table and our value, outside of being the mules, that we have always been, portrayed to have.
Yeah,
Um,
we can
Sean
go into
said,
the. Oh, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead, friend.
I was
Mhm.
just going to say, I didn't want to belabor that. I know we've talked about this now for about 25, 30 minutes, so I don't want to belabor that, but I did want to bring that in because it was not lost on me, that Black women, particularly younger Black women, do dismiss their needs, to try and
Yeah,
dodge the stereotypes. So I was just saying I don't want to belabor it if you wanted to move on.
okay. Sean is funny. She said, Linda Brown said, if you have to ask your man, you need a new, a new man. Mo said,
Linda
girl,
Brown is my second favorite person to Brenda Brown. So
yeah. Mo also said, I remember a guy told me he liked me but couldn't afford me, and I thanked him for recognizing that. We are still friends today because I respected that he recognized he would need to rise to the level of how I already take care of me. Listen, that is it, and that's all. Y'all have heard me say, women set the expectations, and if you do not hold these men accountable to their kingdom and their manhood, then that you are doing them a disservice. So you have to hold them accountable so they can understand that they are really capable of. That's what you do as a woman. That's what the feminine does. The male will always rise to the occasion, baby. When it comes to the feminine, let's
he
be
like
clear.
it. He like it. He want to rise. Go ahead.
That's
Okay.
cool. You give them purpose. That's it. You give them a sense of purpose. And and we're gonna move on from this, but even Michael Porter said it at the very beginning. He said, men do what they do for women. They go spend $200,000 on an ice out chain for women. So there you go. All right, so we're going to move on to our next topic, which was one that I'm super excited about. Tiana Taylor, Miss Tiana Taylor. I saw an interview with her and Sherry Shepherd, and of course, we always talk about, Leo and I always bring to you guys the conversations that we have on the phone, and we were like, girl, there's no way we can't share this with the people. So I felt like, talking about Michael J. Porter and his unhealed way in which he operates with his relationship, Tiana Taylor was a perfect segue into, personally, myself, what I think dating should look like. So just to give you guys, y'all know this already, but I like to put my minor in communications to the test. So Tiana Taylor is an entertainer. We know that, singer songwriter. She's an actress, dancer, model, choreographer, and music or movie executive. Now, just to give you some context before we start talking about Aaron Pierre, we have to talk about why I feel like Tiana is such a poster girl for what introducing femininity into your life could look like. So she was married to pro basketball player Iman. Is it Shumpert or Schubert? I don't
Chopper.
know.
Chopper.
What is it?
Chopper, I believe.
Okay, sure. That Shumpert. In 2016, they have two daughters. Y'all know Miss Judy and Rue Rose. And then in September 2023, Tiana publicly announced that they had been separated. She did clarify in her announcement that their split had nothing to do with infidelity, because that's what the rumor mill was saying. Their divorce was finalized in July of 2024. Now, what happened around that time is a lot of drama. So much drama, child, was happening with their divorce process. She ended up speaking out about it But what she said was that she had, for that entire divorce, she had tried to protect his reputation, and she said he did not do the same thing in return. So here we go with that word, with men protecting you, even though that's her ex. She said he did the exact opposite. She ended up, not being able to deal with the drama anymore. And she said she was tired of being, basically dragged by the public. And so she ended up sharing her perspective on what was going on. She publicly accused him of leaking details of their divorce to media outlets. And that was a no-no, because in their divorce settlement, that was one of the caveats, is that it was sealed, and so they couldn't share the details of the
And
divorce.
I think she put it under John Doe, and he was the one who actually released it, because people didn't know until he actually was the one who said, "No, this us."
Yeah. So so they both contested who leaked it, because he said he didn't
Oh,
leak it. She said he did leak it. So anyway, in 2025, a court found her guilty in contempt for violating the portions of the divorce agreement, by publicly discussing or disclosing any aspects of the final judgment. So they found her guilty, and so that's where that $70,000 that she had to pay him came from. She didn't have to pay him, but she had to pay his legal fees.
mm.
But we have, what I love, and this is how you know somebody is growing. I heard Tiana say, and they quoted her as saying that was the best money she ever spent, because it gave her closure. And when you break up with somebody and there's that bitterness and all of that kind of stuff, when you are able to forgive them, that's how you know your next relationship is going to be fire, because you're not operating that bitterness anymore. He filed, which I thought interesting, he filed motions seeking that she be found held in criminal contempt, and wanting her to go to jail for like 20 days. And it was because he alleged that she willfully broadcasted their divorce judgment, she interfered with his parenting rights, and that she made derogatory remarks about him in front of their children. She expressed frustration that the stories about the divorce. She expressed frustration that the divorce would always come up, and the drama from the divorce would always come up whenever she was having public successes. So she felt like they were coordinated efforts to downplay what she had going on in her public life, when all that stuff would come out. So in early 2025, so now we're on to the good stuff. Okay, we'll move on from that. Let's go on to why we're really here. So in early 2025, y'all remember, rumors started surfacing, honey, when we saw Tiana and Mr. Aaron P. Yeah, that's Mufasa, honey. We saw them together at the 15% Pledge Gala in February. And they weren't together, but it was given very cozy. And then, so all the rumors started going. And then they attended the Vanity Fair Oscars after party. She posted the black and white famous photos that we all know of them, and she captioned it, "Oscar night in black and white, no gray area." Again, nothing had been confirmed. But then in June 2025, she went Instagram official when she posted a birthday tribute to him on his 31st birthday. And then we've recently seen them stepping out in public, honey, on the red carpets ever since. She's been doing a lot of press, and it's been really interesting because whenever she's asked about him, she's always gushing and blushing, and she describes their relationship as secure, safe, warm, healthy, gentle, all things. So come on, friend, let's talk about what you've learned from Tiana Taylor and Mr. Aaron Pierre, that's Mufasa.
Well, that was a very thorough.
Thank you. Y'all, I have a minor in communications, honey. I should have been in journalism. Stop playing with me. I'd have been in there with my blonde hair and my sassy attitude.
Yes, it was very thorough. Now, what we actually are here to talk about, though, is her interview with Sherry Shepherd. So you gave
Mhm.
us context about about her relationship, but what we were focusing on was what she said to Sherry Shepherd. So do you want to tell them about that part?
You can say that. So let me tell you why I did that, because what she said to Sherry Shepherd wasn't just, I didn't look at what she just said. I actually understood the deeper meaning of what was going on with her. So,
So I can say it in my
yes,
lesson.
go ahead and tell the
Um,
people.
yeah, I can
Hmm.
say it in my lesson. So she did a interview just a few days ago. She's on a press tour for a movie, and Sherry Shepherd said, "I want an Aaron Pierre too." And she said, "How do I get one?" And her response was, "You have to be willing to love unarmored." And that word unarmored, it definitely, I think, rocked both me and Yulante. That she used this word unarmored, and the fact that she was not allowing this trauma that she had experienced. And as Yulante, and I was really just kidding when I said that was a very thorough context, because now you get an understanding of the trauma that she in fact experienced, and the fact that she had to make a conscious decision to be unarmored, because her armor, if she decided to put on armor, it would have been reasonable after all of that. I mean, very, very public. She got fined thousands of dollars, and it would have been reasonable for her to be armored. And so, one of the lessons, Yolante, or the primary lesson that I got from this, not just focusing on Tiana Taylor, but focusing on living life either armored or unarmored. Armor is created to block everything. So it may be unintentionally blocking other blessings. And so the one thing about when you put armor on in real life, right? That's just metaphorically, but when you put armor on in real life, you don't get to decide like what section of the body or what section of the heart that it covers, right? Either you put the armor on or you don't. And when you
Right,
put armor on, what it does is it covers the entire heart. And so ultimately, it doesn't matter if you're talking about work, if you're talking about friendships, even Yolante, if you're talking about faith. All of those things require openness. And if you have decided to walk through life, and it is a conscious decision, again, a fair decision, and oftentimes a reasonable decision, but it is in fact still a decision. And if you make that decision to walk through life armored, you just have to recognize that you are also armoring, you're also causing blockage or a wall for other blessings as
hmm
well,
hmm
unintentionally. So you could be saying, well, I'm just guarding my heart against men who might have hurt me. But you don't get to do that, because that's not how armor works. Either you're open or you're not. So
yeah,
at work, you may be getting passed up on opportunity. You may be passing on opportunities because you don't want your coworkers to hurt you or harm you, right? In friendships, you keep up walls. Even in your faith, faith requires surrender. And so you are having difficulty surrendering because you had this armor on in this one
hmm
area in your life, and you inadvertently armed or blocked everything from coming into your life. Blessings, Yolante, they require openness. They just do. Whether it's blessings in love, friendship,
hmm
work, it requires you to be open. And so the fact that this young lady made this conscious decision to open herself up to every blessing. And she said that. She said, and I wrote it down. She said, I walk a straight line, Yolante, unarmored. I walk a straight line, ready to receive whatever blessings are mine to hold.
hmm
It wasn't just about love. Love came because she opened up her heart. But these opportunities with all of these movies, these opportunities with music, these opportunities with creative directing, they all came because she walked the straight line unarmored. And she
yeah,
also got a very, very fine man. But it all came together. It all
yeah,
happened because of the fact that she decided to not be armored. And the other thing that I'll say to you, friend, really quickly is, when I was watching the interview, I could not help but see the parallels between her relationship that she was in prior to that you talked about, and Sierra and her relationship prior to. And the fact that both of these women were dating what would be considered these industry bad boys. They had somewhat of kind of chaotic, you know,
Mhm.
relationships, but more importantly, they had chaotic endings, right? Both of these men, very charismatic, um, very wealthy, but also um, they were traumatic ends. And in both of their situations, they both talked about how, one, they had to open themselves up to the blessings and how they relied on God in order to do so. And the
Mhm.
prayers that they prayed in order for their hearts to open back up. And I found it to be very interesting that, again, the parallels between both of their stories, and the fact that where I want to land here is that your healing, who you date after you break up with someone, especially from a traumatic relationship, you can tell if you're healed by who you date next. Because
Yeah.
if that person is just like what you just got up out of, if it's one frying pan to the next frying pan, it really is indicative of your healing process and whether or not you
Mhm.
are truly healed.
Mhm.
And I found that it was quite interesting that both of these women got with men who allowed them to have a soft landing. They got with men who are openly very kind to them, that like to gush over them. Because just like you were saying about her earlier gushing over him, he also gushes over her. I just recently saw him on the red carpet and someone was trying to ask him about something that he had going on. He said, "I'm here for her. It's
Mhm.
about her tonight." And he walked off. He was like, "Yeah, I hear what you're talking about, and that's great. And I'll come back and I'll talk to you about that when I'm the focal point, but I'm here to support my lady." So he was like, "All right, bye." So,
Yeah.
and he didn't have a problem with it. It was just like, this is what I'm here for. And so I found that it was the real strength and healing really is shown with what you do next and how you
Yeah.
show up afterwards. And again, I just couldn't help but see the parallels in both of those women, in their journeys, and be very proud. I felt myself getting very full and an auntie. And Yulante and I have talked about Tiana Taylor quite a bit, and I have always been a huge fan of hers. I've always felt like she presented very feminine, even when people were saying that she presented a bit more masculine. I always felt like I saw the femininity in her, but there was some armor up. And I'm just so proud of her for learning this, her and Sierra for learning these lessons at what I would consider to be such a young age. I'm very proud of them, and I really admire them for that.
Yeah. I love that. I think you said something though that just set a light bulb off in my head. And for me, that light bulb is the prayer. Everybody kept asking Sierra, because I drew parallels between the two, kept asking what the prayer is. And I think we need to understand that the prayer is only important if you are praying for the right thing. And the prayer should never be about the other person. When you are praying, you should never be asking for God to fix the other person. You shouldn't be asking for God to fix
Oh
their
yes,
heart and all that kind of stuff. What you
sure.
should be praying for is for your revelation, your self awareness, your self
Mhm.
actualization. Because once you do that, then the kind of men, relationships, partnerships that you are going to draw into yourself are going to be very different. And I can imagine that both of those ladies prayed for themselves so that they could be
Oh yes, definitely.
receptive to the right partner. So thank
Mhm.
you for helping me to have that download. So okay, Tiana Taylor, honey. So listen, I'm not gonna lie and say that when I first heard that they were together, that I was a little, I don't know. I didn't feel the way, but I felt the way because I could feel that Aaron Pierre was really he seemed like such a good dude. There was an innocence about him. And Tiana Taylor has always been a girl to me. And I like her, but I always felt like she would be the kind of chick that would turn Aaron Pierre out. And I did not want Aaron Pierre to get turned out. But then you said something important, which is I started watching Tiana, and I am one of those people that 100% believe that Tiana Taylor is a masculine presenting person. You are supposed to have both, but when it comes to, you don't have usually have them at the same time. And to me, Tiana Taylor has always been a woman who has operated in, to me, in a more, I won't say aggressive manner, but in a more masculine manner. So I really think, again, that she is the poster woman for, and I love this, for what it looks like when you soften your edges. Because when you do that, then you are able to sort of bring in these different energies into your life. So yeah, I just feel like there's a different polarity that she's operating in than what she did before. So, and I'm looking at my notes. So a lot of times, because the healthy masculine will soften the feminine, which is probably what Aaron Pierre did to her. Because we all know, Leo, you and I talk about this all the time. When you are in the presence of a real healthy masculine man, I don't care who you are. You could be Michelle Obama. You could be the Oprah Winfrey. You could be the bossiest boss chick in the world. There is something about that man making you feel safe and protected that is going to soften you. And I 100% see that with Tiana. She's so much softer now. So men need to understand that. Are you, again, creating a container where your partner is in an environment where she can feel safe? Because what's important, ladies and gentlemen, we need to understand that if I'm not safe, my nervous system is going to be overstimulated. You know what I mean? I'm going to be out of whack. I'm going to be all over the place. And that's what we don't want. So you could look at them together and just see how much they literally melt into each other. I've never seen anything like it, not recently. So I do love that about their relationship. We also need to make sure that, for the guys, when you're creating an environment, make sure she's not worrying. Again, like I said before, you got to free her up so she'll be able to do all the things for you that you need her to do. If you don't free me to be free in my creativity and my, femininity, I am not going to be able to do all the things that you need me to do for you as the feminine. And then back to the Unarmored, there were a couple of things specifically in the Sherry Shepherd interview, but then also other interviews that I want to point out that she used words that were very feminine charged words. So I'm just going to bring a couple of those up, and then I will definitely move on past it. So one of the things she says is that she trusts their connection. And remember, when trusting your connection is essentially trusting your intuition. And that is the key. We as women have for a very long time been disconnected from trusting our intuition because people tell us it's too woo-woo, it's not reliable, it's not science-based, it's not reasonable, but not knowing that your intuition is a real thing that has actually saved people's lives, right? So she trusted their connection, which is amazing. She also said that she talks about how deliberate their partnership is. Things like him supporting her, things like them working together on artistic projects together. It's that deliberation is intentionality. And intentionality is such a beautiful thing that the feminine does because it allows you to really show up and for your relationship and show your partner just how much they mean to you, right? She emphasized that they're not, and I love this, she emphasized that they're not rushing into things and that they are just allowing the relationship to grow. Mm-hmm. And I know as a woman, especially when we get to a certain age, how many of us move through life trying to control everything, trying to control the relationship. We trying to control how many kids we're going to have, the due date we're going to have them, how many dogs you're going to have, all of these things you're trying to control. And when it comes to affairs of the heart and love, you need to be free-flowing. Let go of the control. And when you are able to let go of that control, then everything just flows beautifully and there's no tension and there's no stress. And I love that. And I know, and I'll say for me, when I started actually operating in that space, because y'all, I'm a Capricorn, we are the most controlling sign. We always feel like we have to control, and it's not even us trying to control people, it's trying to control things that people do that may affect us, right? And when I started letting go, and as they say, let go and let God, and I just started sitting back and saying, you know what, God, I'm not going to worry about this. I'm going to let you take care of it. I'm going to sit in my femininity. I'm going to let it flow. I'm going to let these ideas come to me. Things started to change for me. And I know y'all see it because people have been telling me. I have been getting so many DMs and just messages, people texting me out of the blue, telling me that they see what I'm trying to do. And once I started to let go of that control, I started to become more aligned with my purpose. And so, if nothing else, for me, Tiana is a reflection of what that can look like on a grander scale. And you said it perfectly, Leo. It's not just about her relationship with Aaron Pierre. Yeah, he fine and all the things, but it's also about her career. Like, Tiana is popping, popping.
Mm-hmm.
She is popping, popping, and I love that so much for her. And then finally, back to what we were saying from the interview that I shared with y'all when she talked about moving unarmored. This probably was one of the most important parts of the femininity. When you are moving armor, you're moving in bitterness. And like Leo mentioned, that's the opposite of love. Bitterness, and anger is the opposite of love. And if you are being bitter and moving that way, then you're repelling all your opportunities, not just your romantic opportunities. You're repelling all of that stuff. And so if you just take that armor off, I swear to you, you are going to be such a magnet for all the juiciness that life has to offer. And I'm not telling you what I think, baby. I'm telling you what I know. When you operate from a place of self-love and of loving others, you are going to just draw so much favor and opportunity and love to you in all manner, shapes, sizes, and forms. So that's your superpower as the feminine. And that's why I'm such a big advocate of femininity, because it's not about relationships and men. I need people to understand that your femininity is your superpower because it makes you a magnet for all of the juiciness that is available to you in life. So that's what I have to say on that. And I love it. I love it. I hope they stay together forever. But guess what? If they don't, I have a feeling that they are going to be good friends forever because they have a respect for each other and for themselves that is really I think what a lot of people should take note of and inventory of. So, yeah.
I agree. Thank you for that, friend. The last thing that I would say is that I think when you're young and, dare I say, dumb, you are so immature. And I remember my mom, my late mother, used to say all the time that marriage and relationship are for grown people.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I've never forgotten that. I've never, ever forgotten that. And I remember when I was young and dumb, I used to confuse drama for passion.
Yeah,
And I
same.
used to confuse ego with leadership. And and also, if I'm being honest, believe that softness and a soft landing from a man was weakness. And all of those things I would categorize as being immature. And
Hmm.
you just not knowing how to show up, and how a mature relationship shows up, and how you are to show up in a mature relationship.
Hmm.
And I cannot help, even when I was writing my notes, I actually, if I can be honest with you, I actually started tearing up
Hmm.
because I'm so proud, and I get so proud of young women who learn lessons faster than me,
Hmm.
because I know the heartache, heartbreak, disappointment that some lessons come with that you have to learn. But not
Yeah.
every lesson has to be learned that difficult. They have to be that difficult to learn. And some people get it fast. Some
Hmm.
people, like some children, don't have to get spanked but one time. And then there are those of us who got to get spanked over and over again
Not
before
me.
we get the lesson. And I'm just
Mm-mm.
so proud of those young ladies for getting the lesson, seeing the lesson, hearing the lesson, and getting it very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And I found myself like tearing up when I was thinking about it. I'm very proud of them.
Yeah. And I love that. I love that. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. All
So we can
right.
go on to the next thing, friend. I didn't tear it up again.
Don't say
I
about
don't
me.
look. Listen, I don't look ugly in public now. That's part of my look.
Period. Because that's what we're not doing. So yeah, we're going to talk about K Michelle and keeping your relationship private, honey.
Mm.
Yes, 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 yes.
So, am I doing this one? I think
If you
I.
want to, I can. If you got to take a second to get yourself together, friend, you let me know.
No, I'll do it. Because I do want you to do the next one. So that's.
Okay, I'm ready, baby.
I
I'm
know
ready.
you are. That's why you go do it. Because I ain't got a whole lot to say. So, let me
And I
go
don't
ahead.
have a lot to say about this either. So we ain't even got to spend too much time on the chat. But
Okay,
people
Michelle.
might have something to say. So let us know, girl.
Okay, so R&B singer K Michelle, who is my Neo, and who is Yulante's sorority sister. So not too much on K Michelle, but K
Not too much
Michelle,
on it. Not too much on the phone.
right, right. Listen, um, she recently introduced her husband to the world via social media. After keeping her relationships under wraps for quite some time, this
Mhm.
sparked a bigger question: when should you reveal who you're dating? Or married to, in this case married to, but who when should you reveal who you are married to or dating? Some argue that keeping a relationship private isn't always about hiding, Yolante. It can be about protecting what is still growing. Others
Yeah,
push for transparency early, noting that sharing relationships isn't always foolish. It can expose patterns or hidden truths before you invest too deeply. I shared with Yolante, this blogger that I follow named Peyton Charles, and she kept her relationship private for about 7 months. When I tell you all, it's within 24 hours of this girl posting this man on her blog, which is a very popular blog. Well, not hugely popular, but she probably has about 150 followers, 50,000 followers, excuse me, 150,000 followers. So fairly large vlog. Um,
mhm.
Yolante, not 24 hours of that lady posting that man, somebody came into her DMs and said, I'm dating him. I just had sex with him on Thursday. I mean, 24 hours. Now, she had hidden this man for 7 months and they were talking about marriage, and then all of a sudden she decides to put this man out there, and then someone tells her, I'm seeing him at the same time. I bring that up to say, Yolante, that there's a argument to be made for both keeping it private and allowing the thing to manifest and grow naturally, but also making it public and allowing other people to chime in just in case there are some red flags that you um, didn't know about. There's even this new wave, and we've all heard about it, these digital tools online. Sis,
Oh
is
my God.
this your man? That Facebook group that we've all seen, and
Uh,
now the T app. These are platforms where women can drop names and photos of men to find out if they're being played or lied to. And while the intention may be protection, sometimes the energy feels like it's simply eavesdropping versus discernment. Yolante, are we going public because it's time or because we are scared? And if fear is the driver, is that really love or is that overcorrection from past drama, past trauma? So
right.
because you were hurt in the past or because this situation with Peyton Charles happened, now I gotta overcorrect. And what I want the people in the chat to do, because we want to hear from you guys as well. So I have a
Yeah,
couple of questions to ask you guys as well. Have
yeah.
you ever stayed hidden in a relationship only to later regret not asking questions earlier? I have. I actually have. Are you someone who thinks more people should know who you're dating, or are you protective about revealing it too soon? How have you revealed your partner in the past? And
Oh,
do you
mhm.
have an issue with these public databases like the T or Is This Your Man? Would you ever use it? Why or why not? So, you guys, let's talk about it in the chat. But Yolante, I want you to give us maybe not some lesson specific to the two ladies that we use as an example, but what's the lesson or the message in the mess?
Okay, so first of all, I'm laughing. Ivy said we putting her on. Tammy said we love it. Mo is so funny, girl. Mo said I have to be honest. I'm all in the group reading the stories. Woo, child. I know that's right. Um. Okay. Uh. Okay. How do I say this? Okay.
Now how do I say it?
Well, no, because I don't. Yeah, I'm not putting you on social media for the sake of putting you on social media. You know what I mean? I just don't feel like I need to do that now. But I'm also not gonna hide if I'm in a relationship. But what you will have access to. But that's just who I am as a person. I don't believe that everybody's supposed to have access to you.
Mm-hmm.
This is exclusive over here, baby. Everybody don't shouldn't have access to you, and especially the most intimate and private parts of your life. Certain things you can pop out on them with, let them know how you're doing, let them know how your man doing, that kind of thing. But other than that, a lot of it's about like the old word we used to use, flogging, like
Not that
showing. The girl, I took that back some years, 20
to
some
the
years. So
end.
using showing how many gifts you got for your birthday and where y'all went on y'all trips, but for the sake of being braggadocious, not for the sake of including your community that you have grown to kind of let them in and know what you got going on. Like, I don't know, it's just I personally know and understand that it can be problematic. So listen, whether you have 300 followers or 3 million followers, personally, I am going to be very private about what I share. You're not going to get the full play-by-play, whether it's social media or whether it's a group chat or whether it's your family members. I believe you need to protect your relationship and your privacy, and it's not about secrecy. It's about security. For me, that's what it is. And another thing, when you put too much of your relationship out for people to consume, you now are in drawing back in all of their energy, their opinions, and then there's even a pressure from people that will sometimes have you questioning what you're doing with a person. You could be perfectly content with what you got going on with your man, but then you got people offering their opinions on things and now you second guessing it. And I don't even have time for that. I mean, one, I don't really care, but we do kind of, sort of, right? And I'm not even talking about social media. I'm talking about your friends. I'm talking about your family, all kind of stuff. So I just feel like there's certain things that I'm not going to make you privy to just for the sake that I honor his and my relationship. So yeah. And then I'm an energy person. Like, I don't really like people putting their energy on my shit. Like, I don't really like that. And a lot of times it's not even that people are doing stuff intentionally, but people can put a certain energy on something that you have going on, and it'll block that thing from growing the way it's supposed to grow, even unintentionally. So for instance, like if you have a parent, and our parents grew up in a time where the most that especially women could do was, they was doing it if they became teachers or nurses, right? But then our generation came along and we became CEOs and executives and doctors and lawyers. And so our parents come from a generation of being very safe. So I could go to my mom and I might tell my mom, hey, I have this idea, I want to do this, that, and the other. And my mom, not intentionally, and I'm not saying it's actually happened, but I'm just giving an example. My mom, being a person who grew up from a specific time period, might be like, I don't know, that's not safe. I don't think you should do that. And then she starts praying. And her prayer isn't that I don't get the thing, but her prayer is, God, please keep her safe and keep her in a position to be safe and in a position where, she does this thing that's more secure for her. Not understanding that this thing that I want to do may involve some risk, right? It may involve me not being safe for a little amount of time in order for me to grow. Now she done prayed, put her energy on that thing, and now I have a blockage to my growth into this thing that might be my purpose. So
Because
I'm just
people
as
speak
energy
from
is
their
concerned.
lens.
Huh?
People speak from their lens. They're
That's
not
it.
looking at it from your perspective. They speaking from what they know. To your point, not trying to be harmful. Absolutely.
Yeah, and in their mind have the best intention for
Yes,
you.
absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
that for me, I'm an energy girl. So I'm not, you're not getting ready to know everything I got going on anyway, oh, at least until after the fact, until I pop out on you. Then you be like, oh, this what you was working on. Yeah, girl, come on, let's do this thing together, right? But I don't want people's energy on my shit, friend. I'm sorry, that's just me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just feel like, boundaries need to be established. And also with men or your partner, not men, but whoever your partner is, if you are going to be a person that's going to be on social media, or you're going to be in a group chat talking, or you're going to be talking to your family, like, you got to respect their wishes. Like,
Mm.
some people are private, so you got to be able to, you got to establish with that person, okay, well, how much can I share? Because we know I'm going to tell my sister, or I'm going to tell my sisters, or I'm going to tell my good Judies, my good girlfriends, right? But there, you may have to establish how much of it is allowable, because he may not
That's
want that to happen. And I'm
that
gonna
is a
tell you
good
too.
point. I'm sorry, sis. Let's stop right there. That is a
Yeah,
excellent point. That is an excellent point.
yeah,
Can we elaborate on that just a little bit? Because
mhm,
I consider myself to be a very good friend.
yes,
And one of the ways that I show up for my friends is I ask permission, can I speak?
hmm,
Even though you my good friend, and even though we have an established relationship, I still have to ask permission
yeah,
to enter into a space. And you get to decide if you want me to enter in that space. So
yeah,
I have said, and you probably heard me say this, if I can speak freely, or if
yeah,
you would allow me to put my mouth on this. I'm
yeah,
sorry. I just that is such a good friend lesson, friend. I
yeah.
love that you said that. You got
Because
to
it's
ask permission.
important.
Can you put your mouth on something, even though that's your sister, your good friend? Can I put my mouth on this? And if that person says no, I'm not looking for feedback. I just needed your ear. You have to respect that. That is a
That's
good
it.
ass
That's
word. You hear
it.
what I'm saying to you? Very good. I so
Yeah,
appreciate you saying that.
you're so funny. Not you hit me with the very good that I hit you with yesterday. Uh, very
Very
good. Yeah,
good.
that's
Who
that's
sounded
important.
like Auntie Tabitha. Very good. Very
Yeah,
good, sugar.
that's super important. And I will never forget, my mama told me when I was dealing with a man, we were going through like a breakup, and we had a very tumultuous relationship. And I was getting ready to talk cash money shit about this man. And my mama was like, my middle name is LaCoy. And my mama be like, Coy. And she hit me with that Coy. And I already know what time it is. She get ready to get me together. And she was like, I do not tell me anything about him, because if you tell me and you end up back with him, now you have created in my mind a certain image of him, and now I'm looking at him crazy. And I never understood that. My mama she's definitely a woman who is going to look at things from, she gonna always ride for her daughters. But one thing my mama gonna do is she gonna be like, she gonna call you out if like what you're doing is not right. And she was like, don't tell me anything about that man, because I know you are not always innocent when
Right.
y'all got stuff going on.
Because your
She
mama
knew,
know
she
you.
knew, she knew it. And so, yeah. So that's, yeah. We're not getting ready to have all these conversations about this person, because no, I don't. We're not doing it. Mm-mm. It ain't your business. It really isn't. And then the other thing, too. So even if you are, so let's just say you are going to share with your friend, or the group chat. For me, not with social media. This is kind of going back to what we talked about last week, which is practicing the pause.
Mm.
Don't go straight going off on him about what y'all got going on. You got to give yourself time to decompress and kind of let the anger subside, because if you don't, now you got your girlfriends ready to ride at dawn about this guy. And when the truth of the matter is, to use your words, you might have put a little too much extra sauce on it, and you also didn't tell your friends the role you played in it, right? So give yourself enough time to decompress from whatever the thing is you want to share, if it's something bad, or before you get ready to spill the beans to the people. So that's what that is as far as privacy. Now, the other part that I will say that I found interesting with K. Michelle, this is not even really about privacy. This is about something she said when she revealed that she was married to her husband. And she talked about, and I love this because it kind of goes on your to use your word, friend, muchness, but she talked about how in her relationships, she realized that she was very masculine. She literally used that word. She realized she was really masculine, and how that was affecting her relationship. And I think it's super important for all of us to understand the roles we play in our relationships, because once you become self-aware of your bullshit, then you can become self-actualized. And once you become self-actualized, then you have now created a space for this really, really beautiful relationship. So I love that she talked about her dysfunction as it relates to her relationship. And y'all know K Michelle, that girl is funny, but K Michelle ass is a mess. She crazy. And she acknowledged that. And I think once she started curbing her enthusiasm, um, she realized that, she could be a better partner. And then, they've been together for 10 years. I didn't know that. So, or I guess on and off for 10 years. And so he was able to finally pop the question when she acknowledged her BS. But also in saying that, and this is just real quick, she acknowledged that she was on some BS, but she didn't apologize for who she is. K Michelle knows that she is a lot. She would say that I'm a lot. And again, that goes back to that word muchness. Friend, that is such an important thing that I think you're going to foster in women, to accept your muchness, because you don't have to apologize for who you are, but you do have to acknowledge when who you are and what you do affects other people. And I think she did a good job with that. And I'm hoping that that will work out with her and her relationship with her husband. The only thing that I did, not trying to nitpick, the only thing that I did take issue with is she posted on her page after she got married, and she said she was under a lot of stress with her new album coming out, because y'all know she's now in the country music genre. And then she was like, she's worried because now she's trying to hurry up and give him a baby. And that to me is one of the worst things that I feel like she could do, because when it comes to that, to me, that tells me, when you're nervous, your nervous system is out of whack. And when you're talking about creating life, you should try to be very grounded. And for her to be rushing to hurry up and have this baby, why? Why are you trying to rush? That indicates a deadline. And deadlines is masculine. You are trying to create something out of love, right? So that's the only thing I want her to chill out on, that part, is to, I don't know, not try to rush to hurry up. And I do understand she's of a certain age and her biological clock is ticking, but I don't want her nervous system to be messed up and her not to be grounded and having this baby, just to hurry up and have him for the sake of a deadline. So that's that. Those are my thoughts, friend.
So I'll quickly add my thoughts, my lesson for our community, and what I took from the overall conversation about whether or not you disclose your relationship immediately or you wait for it to grow. I think a couple of things. First of all, Yulante, I don't think that discernment can be outsourced. And
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, a lot of this talking has to do with the fact that you're trying to outsource something that should be natural to you, that grows with you as you mature, as you have experiences, and you're trying to be a bit lazy, one, in your intuition and in the honing of your discernment.
Yeah.
I think discernment has to be honed. It has to be practiced. You have to tap into yourself to get it. You have to be
Mm-hmm.
quiet in order to hear it. And in my opinion, a lot of this talking and getting in the group chat, getting on these apps is to tap into other people's discernment, because either you don't want to do the work to get your own, or you have had some hiccups in your own and now you don't trust it.
Yeah.
Both of those require a little couch time, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. And I say that very humbly as someone who has had to have couch time to hone back into my own discernment over the course of years. That doesn't mean you're going to stay on the couch forever, but you may need to go check in and find out what really is going on, if this talking has to do with the fact that you trying to outsource discernment that you as a grown ass woman should have on your own. So
Yeah.
that's the first thing. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not supposed to do due diligence. I think that those two things are very different. We live in 2025. Listen, you do need to Google him. You do need to do a little bit of a background check. When
Yeah.
you go out, you do need to take a picture of his license plate and send it to one of your girlfriends locally. You do need to let your girlfriend know his name and where y'all are going. This is 2025. We're not saying that you get to be silly because you don't want to be talking. No, we're talking about social media and also the motive behind you posting something. The fact that some people are using these apps to do some of the work for them. Well, I just want to find out if he gonna hurt me before the salads get on the table. Sis, what's happening? Like, again, I'm not talking about protection. I'm not even talking about prep work that you need to do before you accept a date. I think all of those things are extremely mature, right? Those are things that you're supposed to do. Again, especially in 2025. But
Mhm.
I think that if you are operating in paranoia and you're allowing your paranoia to play out, that is again showcasing that you aren't necessarily healed, whole,
Mhm.
and healthy enough to be dating right now.
Mhm. Mhm.
That you should be in a position where you trust your own judgment. And if this guy is giving you red flags that make you feel like you need to go on these apps and you need to go in the group chat and what y'all know and da 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 da, trust your intuition. There's something that's
Yeah.
already telling you and giving you a red flag. You don't need Leontyne to confirm that for you. You know what's going on. You know what's happening. You know what your gut is telling you. And the fact of the matter is that because God loves you just like he loves me, he doesn't need you to go through Leontyne. He gonna talk directly to you because that's your heavenly father. He know how to get your attention. He knows exactly how to speak to you in a way that you like to be spoken to because y'all been talking, y'all have a relationship. You don't need to. And I used to think this, Yulante, for a long time, especially when I first started my walk with God. Oh well, God talked to this person, so let me go and almost like a three-way call. What okay, Leo, you need some couch time. You need some couch time, and you need to get some understanding of how spirituality and relationship, particularly relationship with God, work. I don't
Yeah.
have to do a three-way call to get to my daddy, to my
That's
heavenly
it.
father. He
That's
talks to
it.
me, and he talks to
That's
me in a
it.
very, very specific way because he knows his child. So God don't talk to me. God hates me like my friends hates me. He like, listen, come here. Remember we did this last week? Come here. That's how God
Mhm.
talked to me because he knows me. And that's how
Mhm.
I pay attention as well.
Mhm.
I don't
Mhm.
even pray like that. Oh, well, how art thou, Father? I mean, I whine and snot and sniff. But when me and God talk, I'm like, God, child, let me tell you what happened. Oh,
Mhm.
God, I know you did that. Listen, when I praise, my praise be so funny because I'm me. I am God's biggest cheerleader. But I'm like, oh, God, you did that. You did
Yeah.
that, God. That's my praise because I'm not a whole like flowery person. I'm not a looking at the sky. God would be like, who taught you that? And where you got that from? That's not even how me and you get
You're
down. That's
right.
not even
You're
how
right.
me and you talk. Right. So my point is that I don't need to go through Yulante and how she talks to God. Because you know what he should tell Yulante? Tell her to call me.
Mhm.
Tell her to get in
Mhm.
contact with me. And if she's not hearing me properly, then that is a conversation that she and I need to have. And she don't need to be dating right now because she can't hear from me, right?
Yeah.
So I want to say very clearly that discernment cannot be and should not be outsourced. And if you feel like it should be and you need to get on these apps and have conversations with strangers. And I'm not discounting the fact that, and I shared with you guys an example of a young lady who did put her relationship out there and she did find out some information that she did actually ultimately need to know that this guy was not being faithful for her. But motive matters. She didn't put it out there in order to find out information on him. She put it out there as a natural progression of their relationship, and then she found out some information about him. So I think that
Mhm.
motive matters. And you putting out information on this guy, he on your IG page, and y'all just sitting down for the main course. You
Mm.
don't even know him. You don't even
Mhm.
know him, and your motive behind doing it is, I'm just trying to find out before it go too far. Sis,
Right.
if that is the motive, again, there's a bigger issue there. And
Yeah.
then I guess the only other thing that I would say, and I think I really just kind of said it, is that social media and sharing things online should be a natural progression and not a performance. And I think you alluded to that as well, friend, that you posting on social media should make sense.
Hmm.
And if you have not, you all haven't talked about any monogamy, you all, again, are just sitting down for your first date, and y'all just have placed your orders and he's already on your Instagram page, I think
Hmm.
that that is a bit much because it's not reasonable. It's not a natural progression of a relationship. That is
Right.
like, I would equate that to you going on an interview, Yulante, and you posting, oh, I got a new job. Y'all ain't signed no paperwork.
Right.
You ain't signed no contract. You went on an
Okay.
interview. You wouldn't
Right.
do that. That just is not something that a normal, reasonable person would do. Hey, y'all, I went on an interview and I got a new job. You didn't. You didn't start work yet. What are you talking about? No one
Hmm.
would do that. And so
Hmm.
posting pictures and asking about people, and you all aren't even in a relationship yet, it's just not a natural progression of a relationship. And so just because it's a relationship doesn't mean that you still aren't reasonable and
Yeah.
realistic about where you are in the relationship. So I'll end it there, sis. Those are my overall takeaways on this subject.
Absolutely. All right. So let's move on to it. Thank you
Let
for
me
that
go.
plan.
You get a background. I'm going to get some water before this even gets
Oh,
started. So
y'all, Leo is behaving badly, and there's a reason she's behaving badly. So our last topic of the night was one that I'm super excited about. I know I said I was excited about Tiana Taylor, but that's because I love love. This is excited because this was
it's
one
some
of the times
foolishness.
Leo really just got up to go get water. This was one of the times where Leo and I were having a conversation about a trending topic, and we weren't fighting, but Leo was mad. I'm just gonna say that Leo was mad because she couldn't
I was
understand
not
why
mad. That is not fair. That's not true. I was not
she
mad.
couldn't understand why I disagree with her. And so
You know what I
we
was?
are
Let
talking.
me stop lying. I was
Ooh,
irritated.
now you hear her because she gonna try to make it seem like I wasn't mad. I want y'all to pay attention
Mad
from.
and irritation are not the same. But yes,
Okay,
I
fine. She
was.
was irritated and annoyed and salty. I want y'all to pay attention to that pretty face from this point on out because it's going to be a lot of eye rolling and it's going to be a
Uh,
lot of teeth sucking and all of the things. I'm just saying, just pay attention. So, this conversation is about coffee dates. Now, they call it coffee date gate, right? And so I'm going to give you a little bit of background as to where this came from. Leo, actually, we always have conversations about things, and we're like, oh, what do we think the people are going to be interested in? And Leo wasn't. She didn't think it was an interesting enough topic to talk about. But
I
I went
sent
down
it to
the
her
rabbit
to
hole.
just to kiki and like, girl, look at this, and now she want to talk about it.
Yeah, and so she sent me a video, and the video, and I'll read you the script because it's really a short 15-second video, honey.
It's
But
so
when
short.
I tell you that everybody went crazy, and it's not actually new. This is from like 2 months ago, but it's still relevant. So that's why I wanted to talk about it. So there's a TikToker named Ashley with an I, and so background, she did a video. I'm
Oh,
gonna read you the transcript. A man asked me for coffee after work today, and I politely said no. Instead, I took myself to McAllister's and got a croissant, a grilled chicken sandwich, a whole bowl of broccoli cheddar soup, and a Dr. Pepper, all for $25. Now, I'm not here to argue with how you like to date, but coffee will never be an option for me. Respect my choice the same way I respect yours. Okay. So the question is about coffee dates. Is that an acceptable date?
and
Now
y'all
I
put it
am
in the chat.
going to
Y'all put it in the chat if it's acceptable, if you consider it
let me
acceptable
create a
interact.
poll. Hold on, let me see if my poll works. So let me see. It may or may not show up, but We're gonna put it in the chat, honey, because yeah, it was a lot. Did it show up in the chat?
No, I'll work on it. You go ahead, friend. I'll try it on my end.
All right. So my bad, y'all. Okay. So that's sort of the background. Now, let me also give you a little bit more context. Um, the thing that really, for me, the reason I really wanted to talk about it was because the girl, sad person in the video, she's a heavy set girl, dark skinned girl. People in the audience were in the comments. This post got almost 1 million views, and people were going crazy. They could not understand how someone her size, her complexion would have the audacity to turn down any date. People kept saying that she's a 3 and that she should be happy to get a date, from, or, whatever interest from anybody. So, and then there were other people who were, saying that they don't understand why people are so upset about this woman and her standards. So, that was a lot of the conversation that Leo and I were discussing. But we definitely want to hear, first of all, because this is about dating in 2025, and that's something that hasn't changed. People and their standards on how they date. So here we go. What are they saying in the chat, friend? We got Mo said for the first date, yes. Hold on. Here we go. Sean said, no, ma'am. Mo said, I don't want to waste my time or yours, so let's see if we can even vibe. Okay, so Mo's thing is like not spending, I think she kind of is like you, Leo, not spending a lot of time with somebody if y'all don't even know each other well enough to vibe with each other. All right, come on, guys, leave it in the chat. We want you to engage with us and let us know what you guys think. Oh, I think my poll is Chad's doing something weird. It's trying to show up now all of a sudden. It's very weird. Yeah, Facebook is tripping.
So can I start with the
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely, friend. But do me a favor, what do you guys see on the screen? Because this poll is showing my
I see it. It's on the left-hand side over my face.
Okay, I don't want that. Okay, there we go. I took it
No,
off, so hopefully it's on.
It's fine. It's transparent, so it's not blocking or
Oh,
anything.
I took it off. My bad.
Oh,
All right, come on, friend. Tell me what you think, friend. Watch your eyes, y'all. Watch your eyes. Watch your
don't
eyes.
watch my eyes. Don't watch my eyes. Look at this pretty smile. Or I'll keep my ring up. My rings be distracting y'all. My accessories. So I'm just kidding. Okay, listen. Let me say this. Let me start off by saying this. And it's so funny because I had a conversation with one of my good girlfriends about this very thing, and here her butt come popping in right now. So it's funny that she go pop in at this very second. But anyway, let me say this. First and foremost, I do not believe that anybody should regulate somebody else's standards. Y'all know I consider myself a girl's girl to a degree. And when I say to a degree, what I mean is I still am going to hold my girlfriends accountable and all of those things. So, but I'm a girl's girl. That said, my perspective on this is I am a person that believes in being reasonable. It's the older I get, a lot of the things that I talk about and a lot of the lens that I look at things has to do with is this just fair? Is this natural? Is this reasonable? My overall thought, this don't have anything to do with Ashley with an I and what she looks like, because a lot of people got focused on that. This conversation comes up every 45 days, right? This is not a new conversation. This conversation initially started with this other young lady who's really what you would consider to be aesthetically beautiful. When she was talking about going to the cheesecake factory, and then that list came out, if you all remember that, and coffee was on that list. And so this conversation is not new. She just happened to be the next person who said it, and for whatever reason, in it, to Yolante's point, it may have been because of the way she looked. It got so many views. So, in my opinion, my perspective is not based on her. I roll my eyes every time I hear this. And let me say this. Let me tell you why. I believe that most people, particularly women, confuse vetting with dating. In my opinion, coffee is not a date. Just like talking on the telephone is not a date. When someone asks me for my phone number and we talk on the phone, I didn't just go out on a date with you. We don't go together. When we go for a meetup, we don't go together. That's not a date to me. We are vetting each other still. He's not just vetting me, and I'm not just vetting him. That is a part of what I consider to be the discovery phase. And part of that should happen in person, because on the phone, you're not getting a person's energy. As Yulante said, she's an energy person. I'm an energy person to a certain degree. You're not getting body language. You're not necessarily getting all of the things that you need to in order to know who you're dealing with before you go to the next stage, which would in fact be dating. So, in my opinion, this discovery phase includes casual meetups. That discovery stage is talking on the phone. It might be FaceTiming. It might be these quick, low stake, light meetups in order to, as Mo said, understand chemistry, understand conversation. What are you guys overall interested in? Do our actions align? Do we respect each other's boundaries? I'm simply getting to know you on a surface level. The next stage in this, again, natural progress is formal pursuits of through shared interest. Again, formal pursuits through shared interest. That's when you start dating. Those are actual planned events like dinner, road trips, concerts, through shared interest. It is definitely much more formal. That's when you start to see some level of romance. Is there physical attraction? Is there chemistry? All of those things that happen. I don't think that happens in this discovery stage. I don't think that happens when I meet you on a Thursday and we go from 0 to 100. And I think a lot of this has to also do, Yulante, with the fact that we live in such a quick society. We live in such a microwave society that we have forgotten the natural progress of relationship building. Now, let me say this. In fairy tales and in anomalies, we meet somebody, we fall in love with them, we see them, and they, in the next 15 minutes, they our boyfriend, and we go together and we are floating through the sky or floating through a field of poppies, dancing. That happens in fairy tales. But for the most part in real life, there is a natural progression of relationship. There's a natural getting to know you stage. And I think that because we live in such a microwave society, we expect for this man to be so mesmerized by our beauty and our little, shoulder, give him a little shoulder and take it back, as Bill Cosby or Dr. Huxtable's grandpa used to say, give him a little shoulder, take it right back. He's so mesmerized by us that he sees us on a Thursday, and by Saturday we're on these extravagant dates. Well, what happened to the middle part of this? What happened to the getting to know you stage? I don't believe that coffee. The other problem that I had with this, and let me also say this point and then wrap it up fairly quickly. The other issue that I had with this, Yolante, is that a lot of people, when they make these comments about coffee, they automatically revert coffee or equate coffee to being cheap, being unintentional, um, being lazy. And I don't think that the getting to know you stage is any of those things. In the same way that I don't think it's lazy that you ask me for my phone number instead of immediately taking me on a date. Why would you ask me on a date? I'm fine. So you should just automatically date me. No, I should get to know you. And that getting to know you stage is not cheap. That getting to know you stage is not lazy. It is a natural progress of a relationship. And I think that if more people were being honest with themselves and this gonna get me off the girlfriends list. I'm gonna be put out the group chat for this, and I recognize it, and it's fine. This conversation helped me to realize that more women, if they were honest, they actually like to be love bombed more than they recognize. They actually like for a person to love bomb them and show up with flattering gifts and these dreamy dates and all of these things, because this man went from seeing you on a Thursday to showing up with all this stuff and all of this romance, and you all don't have a relationship. He doesn't even know your middle name yet. And I think that more women than are being honest with themselves actually want to be loved bombed. They want you to show up and perform the rituals that come along with a relationship that has gone through the natural progress before it's natural. Oh, I love you. Oh, I want you. Oh, you my lady. And it's love bombing versus it actually being a thing. I think that breeds disappointment. I think it's performative. And I actually prefer a man to be intentional about his pursuit of me than to love bomb me with something that couldn't be true in the amount of time that we are dating. And I'm not putting a timeline on this. I've been in very fast relationships where I'm talking to a person about marriage within 4 to 6 months of the relationship. So I'm not putting a timeline on this. But again, you don't meet me in the grocery store and I have an expectation the next day that we're on an elaborate date. Coffee is not dating. And I think that people have mislabeled this because they don't understand relationship. They don't understand how true relationships mature, because we're so used to social media. We're so used to microwave. We're so socially awkward because of COVID and quarantining that we just don't really understand anymore how natural relationships progress. I'll be quiet. I know I got put out the group chat. I mean, I really don't mind it. It is what it is.
Okay. All right. Very good. I love it. I love it, friends. So here we go. Let's take a look at some of the comments. We got a lot. So again, here we go. So Suzette, because I think we already talked about the other stuff. Taretha said first dates are okay for coffee. Suzette says, I think for a quick first date to check if there's enough there. I like coffee dates or drinks. Girl, Mo's so funny. Mo said, I've walked out on the first date before. I literally said I'm going to the restroom and left the restaurant because he was the butthole. Vera said it's okay for a quick meet and greet. Roxy said we could also consider she's had many of those types and wanted something more involved. Just a thought. Vera said exactly. I'm not sure if she was saying exactly to Roxy or to what Leo was saying at the time. Sean Red said, I'm sorry, coffee is not a date.
I agree.
Tammy said, and that I think that was Tammy said that when you were talking about love bombing. Mo said we meet for coffee for business. Why can't we meet to see if each other even likes if we like each other? People want the fairy tale that we see in movies, and that's not always realistic. Elle said, damn, that was a type of courtship that led to my marriage. We didn't get to know each other. Okay, yeah, listen. So couple things. Leo talked about the natural progression of how people date. And when Leo and I were having a conversation, so my response is that I'm gonna say no to a coffee date, but not because it's a coffee date. Just one, I'll drink coffee, and two, I don't consider a coffee date a date. Now Leo was saying yes, that's my point, but I have established, and I said this to Leo, my definition of a date with a man is if you invite me to be in your physical presence or proximity to you, and you have an interest, a romantic interest in me, that is a date. Now, what we are doing during that time, whether you are trying to get to know me, all of the things, it is still a date because I am gracing you with my presence and you like me and you want to be in my presence and soak up some of this good, juicy, feminine energy. So
How do
that's
they
my
know that they
definition of,
like you?
huh?
When did they find out that they liked you?
So let me finish. So they find out that they like me when we're on the telephone. I do
That's
not
it.
go.
That's all. Only on the
Let me
phone is when they find out if they like you.
let me finish.
Okay.
I do not go anywhere. I don't care where it is with any man that I do not know. That's me personally. I'm not going to coffee with you. I'm not going on a date with you until I've had several conversations with you and I have established based on your conversation that it's worth me putting my bra on and my lip gloss and my lashes. So that's my rule. So everybody's progression and how they date, I think the disconnect for me is establishing how people date. People date the way they want to date. It
Mhm.
works out for some people and then for some people it doesn't.
Mhm.
I don't go just a man can't randomly come up to me and say, "Hey, can we go for coffee? Hey, can we go for drinks? Hey, can we go out to dinner?" No, we're going to have, here's my number and we're going to have a conversation and let me let you, because my mama's used to say this, let a person talk long enough and they're going to tell on themselves. So
Mhm.
I'm going to let you, we're going to have enough conversation that I'm going to be able to gauge whether or not I even think that we need to sit. And I have met plenty of people. You don't have to be in a person's presence to like somebody, because if that's the case, long distance dating wouldn't be a thing. There are people who long distance dated long distance before they actually met a person and had plenty of great times. You can do FaceTime with a person and see their, see their mannerisms, if they're weird or whatever. There are so many things that you can pick up on from a person from not being in their physical presence. I don't have to be in your physical presence to realize that you are a weirdo or a clown, especially because men are very to the point. They are going to say there's only something, not y'all know unless it's a narcissist or he's been trained really well, but men usually tell on themselves. They'll say something real, thinking it's a compliment, something like something inappropriate, and it has to do with your appearance. Okay, he's thinking about sex, which by the way is totally fine because men are physical creatures. However, I know that's all he's thinking about, and I know to move on from that. And no, I'm not getting ready to even put my bra on to go out and hang out with you. So I think that's where the disconnect is, and that's why for me, coffee dates are a no. Now, friend, you did say, and because this is not a part of my thoughts on Ashley's post, but this is based on what you said. You said that oh, and I wrote it down. You said that you talked about coffee dates, or we live in a microwave society. Now I'll say this for me. Coffee, I am one of those people that believes coffee is low effort. It has nothing to do with how much money you spend. It is 100% about low effort. And you also mentioned the word extravagant and you use the word love bombing, but that's assuming that people want 200 roses delivered to them, a person to buy them a dress like they did in Pretty Woman and have a limousine waiting for me to take me to, Chez Pepe's, whatever. Nobody said that that's what grown, mature women want. That's absolutely not what they all want. And as a matter of fact, when I went down the rabbit hole of Ashley with an I, one of the things she talked about in her video, she said the best date she ever had was with a guy. They both would brag to each other about having their favorite taco spot. So she would go order tacos from her favorite taco spot. He would order tacos from his favorite taco spot. They would meet somewhere at like a park, free, and then they would sit and exchange tacos and kind of talk shit and have fun and have a good time. That to me is one of the best things we could do. My ex and I, that was kind of our Friday night ritual. He would, because he worked really late, he would come get me. Hey, let's go real quick. Let's go grab some tacos. We'll go sit at the taco place, drive through downtown, watch the pretty lights, have a great conversation. Nobody is saying that you have to have this big, flourishing, wedding-like date. But your dates, if you are showing interest in me, has to show that you are putting forth some type of effort. Now I'm gonna get to my point, and I don't know if should we hit the chat up real quick before I keep running my mouth. I don't know.
Yes, and also I have a question. I have a
Yeah.
qualifying question. So
Okay.
you are saying that anytime you meet in person, regardless of the location, it is a date. Because I actually think that that's where our disconnect is. I don't consider every time I put my clothes on and I'm in proximity to you that we are dating until we decide that we are dating, that we're going to formally date and formally pursue each other through shared interest. So you're saying that anytime there is any face to face, that is considered a date. Because again, I think that coffee is being mislabeled. And I think that that's where our disconnect is. It doesn't matter the fact that we've talked on the phone, because I agree with that as well. Remember, I said it's in the same bucket as talking on the phone, FaceTiming. All of those things need to be done because, listen, again, we talked about this earlier. We're in 2025. So you need to be smart about your putting yourself in proximity to people, right? So I'm not dismissing
Mhm.
that, but I do need to clarify that we are saying that whenever you are in front of somebody, that is considered a date.
So I'm gonna say what I said again because I want to make sure that I'm clear. What I said was a date for me is going out in physical presence with being in physical proximity to a person, and that person is showing interest in me because they are romantically involved. They are romantically interested
Correct.
in me.
Yes. Yes. That, and I'm saying, and that's what I'm asking about. So you all have talked on the phone. He has some interest, perhaps. Y'all are still vetting, right? Because so y'all are talking on the
Well,
phone.
perhaps because if he asked me for my phone number and I gave him my number, then he's interested in me. So it's not perhaps. That's he likes me and he wants to get to know me more, and we're going to do that on the phone. And then now that I
Oh,
have,
okay. So that's where the disconnect is. I see. Okay, that I appreciate you saying that because I don't think that just because somebody asks you for your phone number that they like you yet. I don't think that just because somebody asks you to, they may be interested in you and you fine friend and you're a beautiful friend. So listen, a lot of I almost cussed. A lot of people, I almost said a cuss word. A lot of people gonna ask you your fine self. Golly, my mouth your fine self for your phone number.
no,
I
they're not.
don't. Okay,
They're not.
even if they're intimidated, the fact is that is where the disconnect is. I don't put that vetting bucket. Listen, if this was a bucket, I don't put that in the he likes me stage.
Mhm.
He's open to liking you. He wants to see if he like you, but he met you in the grocery store, saw your big old booty, your big old juicy booty that you got swinging, and said, I am open to getting to know her more. Now, you said because he asked you for your phone number or y'all are FaceTiming or whatever, that he has already established that. And I so appreciate that because I don't I don't agree with that. I don't think that anybody who looks at your just because I look at your resume doesn't mean I want to hire you. I don't even
Right.
know if I want to have a second interview with you. I just took your resume because I wanted to know more. I was intrigued enough to know more. So I appreciate that. So we actually probably won't agree because where our starting point is already two steps ahead of one another or two steps behind one another. So I appreciate that. So okay.
Okay. So here we go. So okay, Shadon, hey boo, Shadon said because people are weird, you need to talk to them first and get to know them a little. Mo said, I don't know about that one. I met a person and we left one place and met at another place the same day to talk, and it was exciting to me. Of course, someone had all of their info before I left. Roxy's so crazy. She said, what about coffee at the LV Louis Vuitton Cafe that requires reservations? Mo said Leo is talking about we go together. Um, and Roxy said, I think the modern consensus is that a date and dating are two different things. Correct. Elle said, I think dating and going on a date are two different things. Going on a date is an outing with someone who has a romantic interest. Dating is probably synonymous with courting. A date is an event. Dating is a consistent series of dates. Tammy said that's true. Mo said dating and we go together is different to me. Okay,
Oh,
okay. Um,
absolutely. Can I
yeah.
say something about what Eltania said regarding the dating is synonymous with courting? Because
Okay.
even that I disagree with. So if I could be clear about, again, I think that we are, our definitions are so different, with which is great, right? And I think that's also the reason why you need to get to know somebody, because you and the person that you're in an intimate relationship need to have the same definitions. You thinking that y'all go
Absolutely.
together and you just thinking we dating are two
Right.
totally different things. But let me also give you guys a bit of a level set of how I am shaping my point of view. This discovery stage, you meet someone and you begin this discovery stage. Again, that's coffee, that's space timing. Those are informal meetups in my mind. That could include the dirty word of coffee. Oh my God, coffee is a dirty word, right? So all of those things are in the discovery stage. I am trying to see if I would like to go on a date with you or begin to start dating you. Dating is a bit more formal. It is planned occasions, and the goal of that is to see what we have in common. Do we have shared interests? Do we want to move to the courting stage? It is intentional. It is romantic. It can even be physical. It is out of the getting to know you stage, which is surface, and this is a lot more intentional. In my opinion, and the reason I wanted to bring this up is, now, again, my opinion, courting is even different from dating. Now we are trying to see if our lives align. We are now talking about lifestyle and whether or not we are going to shape our lives around each other. We are sharing values. We are meeting families. We're merging schedules. We're planning a future together. And then leading ultimately to marriage, which is a spiritual, emotional, and legal bond. It is your love and your strategy, if you will, how we are living life together. So I even see dating and courting as two totally different things.
Okay. So Roxy's funny. She said Leo's on the corporate level. I agree with Eltania. I believe that courting and dating are synonymous because I feel like those two things that you talked about are all things that can happen while you are dating somebody. I do think that I think as your dating progresses, maybe it turns from dating into courting, but I do think that we all, not we all, I do think that when people are generally talking, nobody even uses the word courting anymore. I think that people just generally be like, oh, I'm at a stage where I'm dating somebody, I'm getting to know them. And once you've been dating long enough, then we start moving to the part where it's like, okay, decide if I want to be exclusive with you. You my boyfriend, I'm your girlfriend, and we go together and don't play with me because I'm
But
gonna
what do
punch
we
you in the
lead?
face.
Is that to lead to marriage or lead to a
Because
long
not all
term
dating
thing?
court, but friend, not all people date to marry. Not all people court to
I
marry.
agree with that, but when you are dating, you're also not merging lifestyles together. You are not merging your, you're not weaving your lifestyle into their lifestyle, because generally, and to be honest with you, in the most healthy way, you are dating multiple people because you're getting to know and sharing interests with multiple people. Courting, however, should be you doing that exclusively, and y'all lives are merging. Your plans are merging. Your families are merging.
Yeah, but I don't merge my lifestyle and make compromises to my plans with anybody until we go together. That's
Exactly,
just me.
which is, in my opinion, courting. You all have
But we
decided
don't
you all
call it
are
courting,
mutually.
friend. We be like, that's my boyfriend, that's my girlfriend.
Oh, Leah,
Or when you my age, that's my special friend.
I don't necessarily know if I use the word courting, but I am very clear when we go from one stage to the next. And that does not happen without a conversation. That is not an assumption. That is not my feeling towards you. Because listen, we are the people that I see in this chat. Let me just be clear. The people that I see in this chat are dope. A lot of, dang, I almost cussed again. A lot of people going to want to date you. A lot of people are going to want to date you. And you are dating a lot of people. Listen, you guys are some bad girls. the giving a person the room to assume where you are in your relationship, in my opinion, is very dangerous. So for me, nothing don't happen without a conversation, and we are going from, and we don't go from one stage to the next without having a conversation about that.
I agree with you. I agree that we got some bad girls in the room. I agree that you are a bad girl. But I also agree that most of the ninjas that we talk to and we have a conversation with them about where we stand with each other, none of them ninjas know if we come to meet them and say courting. I can tell you
Oh
right now,
yeah,
I don't
I'm
care
sorry.
how
Don't
much.
get so caught up in the word. I apologize. No,
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah. That ninja is gonna be like, we go together. Like, stop. He
Right,
gonna be
but
like,
it
stop
is a
playing with me.
merging. It is different from dating. It is different from just dating, in my opinion.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
again, I think that where the difference is that our definitions are completely different. Again, I think
Okay.
even from the beginning, even from the start, me getting somebody getting my phone number and that translating to them liking me, we started off in two totally different places because I totally don't agree with that.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I see that, friend. Mo is funny. She said, Leo, how many men have you told that you cheated on them? Because baby, you were in a whole relationship and didn't know it. Oh, oh. And then she said, Leo, you a floozer. You out here with a team.
I'm
Yeah.
not
Stop
out
playing
here
with
with
them.
a team, but we don't go together until we go together. I mean, I am too old for you to be making those types of assumptions, and you're too old to be allowing me to make that type of assumption.
Yeah,
Here's the thing, you don't want me to operate in confusion because I
yeah,
don't know what to do. And generally, if I'm confused, I don't do anything. I'm gonna
yeah.
pause because I don't know what to do. I know how to operate in clear roles. I know how to operate when you're being very clear with me about where we are and where I am, what I am to you. I know how to operate in that. I don't operate good in confusion. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna be like, oh, I don't know where I'm going. Pause. And until I can look that up and figure out what the GPS is saying, and sir, me and you are the barometer for that, I'm not moving. So you don't want me to be confused. And
Yeah,
see, I probably am a lesser woman than most, right? Because clearly, some of y'all don't need clarity. I do.
yeah. Okay. I love it. So here we go. So let me go ahead and give my perspective because I'm looking at the clock and I forgot I got to go to the good schoolhouse
Yes.
tomorrow. So
Yes.
again, I'm gonna go with that. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go with no for the coffee date. And again, it has nothing to do with money. It literally for me is low effort. Now, I am a person who believes in creating experiences for myself, and I believe that any person who is showing interest in me should also take an effort to do the same. Does not have to be a lot of money involved. I 100% believe that dating is about being courted, to use that word, cherished, and to be feel special. And for me personally,
Mhm.
I do not feel that there is anything special about coffee. And it really to me just doesn't scream intentionality, which I'm really big on, especially at this age of my life. Because at this point, if it's not intentional, why am I doing it? Because I make very intentional experiences for myself, and I don't want anyone romantically who especially who's going to be in the leadership role, whatever that looks like, to be playing around with me and bullshit. I don't have time for that. So again, I don't drink coffee, and I don't judge anybody who does do coffee days. I think that's fine. I think a lot of the issue that a lot of people were taking is that why is it such a big deal? Like, why is everybody making such a big deal about this standard that this person chose for themselves? But more importantly, after we've had several conversations, you should at the very least, if you are going to be in the leadership role, have found out what it is that I like and I don't like. I do not drink coffee. I do not like coffee. So I do not want a coffee date. So when you are dating me or courting me or whatever it is, if you're doing something or bringing something to me that I don't like, I think that also, is a part of the issue. Now I know there are people who drink coffee, so that's a non-issue. But choosing, a dinner, choosing a nice spot, and all of that stuff, that's setting the tone. That's telling me your intentions. And for me, you're not gonna be met with resistance if you're doing that. So again, it's not about the money. I go to expensive restaurants all the time. For me, it's about the thoughtfulness. And so, you know, I want a certain energy around me when it comes to you expressing that you like me. And coffee, to me, there's nothing exciting about it. Like when you look at the environment, there's nothing about a coffee environment that says warm, cozy, or even romantic. It feels personal, impersonal. And if you look at any coffee restaurant cafe, for the most part, it's business. And when it comes to romance, I don't equate it with business. I understand that people look at the beginning stages as an interview, but I don't ever want any part of my dating experience to be equated to business. I don't want the interview coming up. I don't want none of those terms, energy, none of that, to me, low effort stuff. I don't like it. And when I look around Starbucks, all I see is, you know, college students trying to hurry up and finish a 35-page paper, a barista that's, you know, hurry up and giving you your coffee, and instead of taking your order in the most pleasant way, and people rushing to work. I don't want none of that energy when I'm trying to be in the presence of somebody and somebody's trying to be in the presence of me. I just don't even like that energy to be around me. And then the other point I was going to make is about the standard, you know, the standard that you set for yourself. It's not even like, to me, coffee is not coffee or no coffee. It's not even about it being a high standard, but it's about when people say that they're going to do something. And for me, you're setting your standards and your boundaries it's an act of self-love. So for me, if I say I don't want to be in that space, that's all I'm doing. I don't know that people should be making, and I'm not talking about you, Leo. I'm really talking about the people in the comment section of the original person who did this post that we're talking about. People need to be able to honor everybody's viewpoint on it without it turning into this whole big old thing and people not understanding why somebody disagrees with them. I think for me, that was the biggest issue. Why is it such a big deal that I disagree with you on how I want to exist and operate in my life? A lot of people were really triggered by her appearance. That really hurt me because one of the things that I think people had a problem with Ashley with an I is not because she said she don't accept coffee. It's because the way she said it was very matter of fact. And they wanted her to be humble. And that word really bothers me because people use it a lot. And I have a problem with that word. The root of the word humble is from the word humilis. And humilis simply means to lower yourself and to see yourself as inferior. So a lot of people are like, oh, you need to humble yourself. I'm going to tell you right now, one thing you will never hear Yulante call herself is humble, because I'm not going to lower myself. I'm not going to see myself as inferior. And I think people wanted her to be grateful because she is at an intersectionality of being a black person, a woman, a dark-skinned black woman, and a heavyset person. People expect you to, when you are at certain intersectionalities or marginalized communities, you are just supposed to be happy and grateful and thankful for what you get. Instead of people just saying, this chick has a certain standard for herself and she don't want no damn coffee. And she said it, I don't even drink coffee. But she did say, I will go and have a $25 meal with you or some tacos with you and it'll be just fine. So I don't know. I just thought it was really, really crazy. And then I want to share real quick something with you guys. So when yesterday, because y'all know Leo and I were working on the technical part of our programming. So I ended up calling Xfinity yesterday because I wanted to increase my internet speed. And while I was doing that, the gentleman I spoke with, his name is Greg. Greg was like, you know, of course, in him trying to figure out what kind of programming I need. He was like, well, what are you doing? So I said, oh, well, you know, I'm on Facebook. Me and my friend, we do live. So I want to be able to make sure I have enough connection. And he said, oh, okay. So, you know, of course, they're making small talk because he's in the call center. And so he was like, oh, well, what do you talk about on your lives, y'all? What he did that for? Child, me and Greg started talking. Y'all, me and Greg stayed on the phone for an hour talking about what our conversations are about. And I told Greg what Leo and I were going to be talking about today. And I need to share with you all Greg's opinion. Now, Greg is 53 years old. Please don't ask me how I got all this information. And no, he's not trying to talk to me because Greg is in a relationship. Greg is 53 years old. He is 6'2", 280 pounds. He is very masculine, and he's a Scorpio. Again, nothing about our conversation was romantic, but all these things, because we talked so long, ended up coming out. So I want to share what Greg had to say, because I said, Greg, I want you to give me a male perspective of coffee dates. And this is what Greg said. Y'all, when I tell you I was hollering, Greg said it depends on the time of the day. He said, if someone is asking you to go on a coffee date after 3 p.m., that's a hard no. He said that is someone being cheap. And he said something which was really eye-opening that I didn't know about men is men's assign value to things. And so he said, if you want to spend the money on the person, he said if you can't spend money on a person right now, he said dating shouldn't be what you're thinking about at that moment. He was like, men who basically, he was saying, if you can't afford to date, that shouldn't be on your plate right now. He said respectfully. He said you can have a thoughtful date with someone and it doesn't have to cost $500. He said, but it does require effort. So then he gave some examples, going to the beach, having a picnic, all these different things. But he said asking a woman to go to the beach to take a walk and going for coffee after certain times is an automatic telling that that man doesn't want to put any effort into it. So I'm gonna stick to my guns on this and say a coffee date is a no. But I also am acknowledging that Leo and I have very different ideas on what coffee, someone asking you out for coffee is versus what I say, asking me out for any of my time to be in your presence and you have established that you like me. So yeah. Friend, what are you thinking? What we got going on in the chat?
Well, let me be clear. I want to be very clear about something. Again, I've heard this conversation happen every day and twice on Sunday. So my conversation and my perspective don't have anything to do with Ashley. I said that to you when we talked about it initially. I
Yeah.
could only take so much of Ashley anyway. Because I thought that once I got on her page and tried to get more, it was layered with so many other things that I got distracted by her. But this is not the first or the last time that I've heard about women not liking coffee dates. So I want to be clear. This had nothing to do with Ashley being plus size, dark skin, it being about a person named Ashley with an I. Nothing. Because when I started researching, I've researched coffee dates. I've heard about this several times. Again, I heard about this about a year ago when that list came out about what wasn't acceptable dates and the Cheesecake Factory gate and all of that stuff. Again, this is not a new conversation. So I want to be clear that my conversation and my perspective have nothing to do with Ashley. I only was able to absorb so much of her anyway. So I, again, also, I think, want to be clear that, again, like being on the phone, I would not categorize that as a date. I don't categorize coffee as a date. And so I actually think that we agree about dating needing to be intentional, dating needing to be romantic, dating needing to be exciting, and you need to be excited about being there with that person, and it sets intentionality and all of those things. But because I do not frame coffee as a date, I do not frame talking on the phone or FaceTiming or any of those getting to know you parts of the vetting process, I don't consider it to be a date. So we are on the same page when it comes to the intentionality of dating. And I don't dismiss my standard when it comes to that. But I do think that there is a natural process of getting to know someone. And I don't think, listen, I know that y'all mesmerized by the freckles and the red hair. But I don't think that when somebody meets me that they automatically like me. They don't know me yet. And I would also go so far as to say one of the reasons why someone may be asking Ashley with an I out on a coffee date and not knowing that she doesn't like coffee either is because you didn't give him an opportunity to get to know you. I also think that in the getting to know you stage, that person would find out that you don't like coffee. Why? Because you all would communicate. You would say, hey, I don't like coffee, but I do like, what does she have on the thing? Broccoli soup and croissant. So would you mind going here? And we can get to know each other and perhaps find out if we like each other enough to go on a date. I just think that that is fair. I think it's reasonable. I think that it's natural. But again, because I don't frame that part of the getting to know you process as dating, I think that is a completely different bucket, a completely different stage. And I think that everything that you said as it related to dating is absolutely fair. And I also agree and have the same standard. I just don't have it prematurely. I
Yeah.
I think I have it naturally, as the relationship, if you will, progresses. And we decide if we're in a relationship, a friendship, we might just be wanting to do a little yang, 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 yang. And that's okay too. But we
Hmm.
learn all of that during that
Yeah.
stage of getting to know you. So
Yeah.
I did want to be clear about that.
Yeah, no, we are 100% agree in that. And again, prematurely for you and prematurely for me are two different things, because
Hmm.
prematurely is me going to sit in public with you anywhere and I don't know you. So again, that's just that's just what it is. So now I know we have a few people that are saying good night. And I know it is late, and I again do apologize for earlier for starting later. Leo, do we want to do this, or maybe we should? I don't know. You tell me if we should share this later. Our memorable dates, because I do have a ghetto date story, but I don't have to share my ghetto date story now.
I mean, it's up to you. My memorable date is really, really quick. So, yeah, it's up to you.
Go ahead, tell. So share a friend your most memorable date.
Um, it was uh memorable because of the location. So it was in Atlanta, and it was at the Atlanta Aquarium,
Hmm.
which I had never been to before. And this is probably going to sound really small, but because of the location, you just had so many things to see. It was also extremely whimsical because of all of the fish and the lighting and the this and the that. And
Hmm.
so it put you in this mindset of whimsy. It put me in the space of softness because it was such a romantic setting.
Hmm.
I don't know if anybody else has ever been there, but they even have weddings a lot in that space because it is so romantic. So it was something that was very easy. It allowed me to feel very girly and get dressed up, but not get uncomfortably dressed up. You can walk
Mm.
around, there's a lot of people watching, so you never um not have anything to talk about because it's people all around, and you get to I got a chance to see his humor. I got a chance to see how he interacted with other people, how he was in crowds versus in quiet spaces, because the Atlanta Aquarium has both, right? It's very, very busy, but it's also you have off off the wall, off to the side, excuse me, spaces in there where you can get quiet and get alone, if you will. And so it was just a perfect date because of the setting. And it's one of those dates that it was just very, very dreamy.
Mm.
I have had very grand dates, first dates as well. And I've had dates like this that weren't necessarily as grand, but left a really great impression because of what was set up and what we did. And neither one of those showcased how the relationship was going to go.
Yeah.
The grandness didn't necessarily turn into him always being the most intentional. And the person who we started off less grand, it progressed into it being actually very grand.
Mhm.
So neither one of those were indicative of
Yeah.
how the relationship progressed. But that was my memorable date.
I love that. That intentionality, though, I think is the point. And I think, especially when it comes to men as leaders, you have got to, I think from the beginning, once to me, if you show that to me in the beginning, that's going to tell me a lot about what I know to you. And that's going to let me know if I am going to be somebody that will be able to, um, allow you to quote unquote lead, even though we know who really does the leading. So mine is ghetto. My most memorable date was in college. And so, in college, honey, ain't nobody got no money. And I was dating a local, y'all know, child, y'all know what locals mean. If you know anything about Florida State, FAMU, and Tallahassee, y'all know what dating a local looks like. And so I was dating a local. Our relationship was very tumultuous. It was very toxic. But Valentine's Day came around, and he knew that I wanted a really special Valentine's Day. Now, mind you, this ninja didn't have no money, and he was like a thug. He was like a criminal a little bit. And
Like a
I
criminal.
remember we Valentine's Day came around, and we went to like a hibachi spot, but he came in with all of these gifts for me. It was like stuffed animals, candy. It was a whole bunch of stuff. It to the point that I remember one of the men at the hibachi place was like, dang, he must really love her. I mean, he had literally bags and bags of stuff. Do y'all know I found out that this ninja stole all of these gifts? He stole all of these gifts from me from the store. And so I'm like, oh my God, he is so ghetto. And we still was together for a very long time because I was very young and dumb. It was completely ridiculous. But my whole point, and I'm gonna tie this up, my whole point.
Wait, before you get to the point, no. We have to know how you found out first that they were stolen, and then you can get to the point. How did you
He
find
told
out?
me.
Oh, he
He
told you.
told me,
Okay.
and I know he said thank you no money. So I'm like, how you got all of this stuff? He was like, don't worry about that. How you think I
Okay, so
got it?
you asked, and then he told you.
Yeah.
Uh,
We'll leave it at yeah. I mean it was because I knew I'm always trying to keep him from getting in trouble. But anyway, yeah.
okay, that's
So my whole point is this. If I have a man who is willing to go to jail for me to have a special Valentine's Day, then sure, I don't want your low effort coffee date. I will, however, take a ninja who is willing to rob a bank for me. And that is the moral of my story. And I'm going to end it on that note, please. And thank you. So, yes. All right. What we got in the chat? Y'all, we're going to wrap this thing on up. Y'all, listen. I love how he was willing to go to jail behind some teddy bears for me to have a very special Valentine's Day. And guess what? He had a special Valentine's Day too. Play with it, baby. Yes, Tammy, you're right. You got to stay away from the locust girl because, baby, oh, girl, it was a mess. That when I say that relationship was so toxic, it was real bad. It was real bad. All right, friend, you did. I told you I was gonna shock you, and I
okay.
did. I did just that.
I, uh, I can't even get it together.
I know.
I'm trying to understand.
We'll talk about that later on the phone.
Oh,
We'll talk about that later on the phone. Listen, y'all, thank y'all so much for those of you who have stayed up and rolled with us tonight. We did say we were going to share our fragrances. I think we can make that real quick. My fragrance of the evening, because it pairs with that first body glow up oil that I told you guys about. So this is from a niche brand. I was influenced. I saw them on social media and bought their discovery set. And this was the one scent out of the entire discovery set that I like. This is My Son, Louis Marie. This is their number 13 Nobel Vague or Vague. It is a vanilla scent, very light, very sweet, such a good thing. And I think it's going to go amazingly well with this body oil. So that's my scent for you guys. What you got for them, friend?
so mine is Thomas Cosmala. I do not know how to pronounce the name of this fragrance. It's very, very French, and it's very, very complicated, but it is the number 4. He has several numbers, 5, 10, but this is the number 4. It fits my fragrance profile. Anybody who knows me knows that I like amber. Amber is my favorite note. So there's amber in here. It's a little woody. Um, there is orange blossom. It's musky. It's very, very sexy. This is a fragrance, however, and again, everybody who knows me knows I'm an oversprayer, but this is a fragrance that you cannot overspray. It walks into a room way before you get there, and it's very sultry and it's very sexy. And because of that, it actually can be a little rude, like, because it's just heavy.
Mhm.
There is some powder in there, but it's just such a very sexy scent that you're gonna definitely turn heads. You're gonna turn
Mhm.
heads to somebody who might be on a date with somebody who they stole some stuff for, and that joke is definitely gonna turn and look at you. Even if it is not that they looking at you to get you, it's just that this smell is very strong, it's very overwhelming, but it smells really, really good. I smelled it on one of my girlfriends in Atlanta. We were in Atlanta for an event, and she had this on, and uh, she is a doctor's wife, and so, ooh la la, and but she smells good all the time. And this was one of the fragrances that she had on. I tested it because you guys know I'm a fragrance tester. It paired well with my chemistry, and yep, Thomas Cosmala.
I love it. I love that. Friend is, oh, well, no, I was going to say it can't be, it maybe not be able to be added to your store. So we're going to make sure that we share with you guys
I
our
love that you
links.
are speaking this story to my life. I noticed that I didn't say anything about it, but I love that you are just creating this store for me. Talking about Leo has a store. I don't, I don't. But the fact that you like, I'm going to haze her into getting this store
Oh my
because
God, when you sent me that link, because I bought the moisturizer from you, that link you sent me, I thought was from your store. So,
I just sent you the
okay.
link.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you would hate, like, okay, because you told me like 4 or 5 times, get your store, get your store. I just
Yeah.
haven't done it yet. But yes, big sister, I will rather.
Okay. All right. So you heard it here
Halfway.
first. Leo is going to be influencing real soon because she be influencing me. So, yeah, friends. So I know we listen. I got to get up in the morning. I know you guys
Yes.
have to get up in the morning. I have not put a single thing in my mouth to eat, so I'm actually going to be eating really late. So I'm about to go get some food. It's crazy and just stay up so it can digest. But I'm going to see you guys later. Thank y'all so much for rocking out with us. Thank you to my boo Leo for this amazingly lively conversation. And friend, you want to say anything before we get out of here?
I want to be like you when I grow up and have jokers running me down for me to give them my number, and we go together real bad. So I'm working on it.
And he's willing to rob the store for
Right,
you. Don't
and
forget
Rob
that part.
Stewart to me. I mean, listen, I need to learn what you know about some things, because it's clearly that you know some things about some things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I tell myself all the time. That's what I tell myself.
I'm
It's
telling you,
delusional, but that's what I tell myself. All right, Teresa said, please
love
create a
you.
store, friend. So
She
I
said
love you
what?
guys. I love you, Leo. And we will be back very soon. You guys know, as always, please, 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 please give us what it is you want to talk about. We want to talk about what you guys want to talk about. And then we can't wait to meet up with you guys real soon. Love y'all. Bye.
Bye.